今回の授業は誰も何もやらかさなきゃいいが。
ほらほら、おい。
カリム、おとなしくしていろ。
僕を見張りにご覧いただけました。
手を挙げるなら今だ。手を挙げるなら今だ。
ご注目ください。
先生、こんにちは。
この辺で終わりです。
無事終了と。次もこの調子だ。
楽しい時間。
スカラビアの実力です。スカラビアの実力です。
ご注目ください。
まず手を挙げて、いい子にしてます。
僕にお任せを。
手を挙げるなら今だ。
この辺で終わりです。
情報をたくさんインプットしたよ。
ほらほら、おい。
カリム、おとなしくしている。
学園長も勉強か？
カリム、おとなしくしている。
何しに来たの？僕にお任せを。やっぱりついてない。
スカラビアの実力です。
この辺で終わりです。
情報をたくさんインプットしたよ。
課題はやってきま。
カリム、おとなしくしている。手を挙げるなら今だ。
学園長も勉強か？いいとこ見せなきゃな。
ご注目ください。僕にお任せを。ご覧いただけました。
皆さん、意外と集中し。
終わった終わった。お茶の時間にしようぜ。
課題はやってきま。
手を挙げるなら今だ。手を挙げるなら今だ。
何しに来たの？
俺の隣空いてるぞ。
い
Alright,
い子
everybody.
にしてます。
何しに来たの？ご注目ください。
We still have some
Gino
lessons to go, but I'll talk to you
簡単
guys if I can. I know the boys are loud.
1週間分の気力を使い果た
Hi,
した。
David. Just stopping by to say hi. Hi. Thanks for saying hi. We are playing. Obviously, we're doing Twisted Wonderland today. We won't be doing Genshin for a while, unfortunately. I should probably talk about that now a little bit, maybe. Or maybe I'll wait a second. Who knows? I'm at college right now. I hope I have enough battery to watch till the end. Well, don't, ignore class, but if you're already ignoring class,
1週間分の気力を使い果たした。
there are definitely worse things you could be doing, I'm sure. David, did I say thanks for resubbing? I don't know. My brain, guys, I'm a little bit, I don't know, like I'm in a weird mood today. The weather's kind of bad, it's kind of like dreary. That type of thing like tends to really affect like my mental fogginess or clarity or whatever. So like, either way.
1週間分の気力を使い果たした。
Hopefully.
課題はやってきま。
手を挙げるなら今だ。
We only have 18 chapters left. My plan for today is to basically stream, then go do some Calxiyn cares too much stuff.
いい子にしてます。
僕を見張りに？
スカラビアの実力です。
授業内容
Or my Genshin
簡単すぎ
homework,
まし
depending on what we're all feeling like.
1週間分の気力を使い果たした。
課題はやってきま。
手を挙げるな
But
ら
yeah,
今
let me start recording
ご覧いただけました。
カリム、
just to make sure my computer doesn't
学
explode.
園長も勉強か？学園
So,
長も
in
勉
case
強か？
anybody needs to know, in case anybody's wondering, I did explain this on Twitter, however.
皆さん、
So,
意外と集中
Arnold
し。
Hunter and I did Genshin
無
guessing
事終了と。
like 4 days ago, like a couple days ago. And I thought maybe with the
楽しい
power
時間。
スカラビアの
of
実
God
力
and
です
anime on my side, we would get through the entire thing. Delusional, by the way. Because the first time we did Genshin guessing, we only had 50 characters, and it took about probably 3.5 hours. And this time we had 80, and we got halfway, and it took 3.5 hours. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So in my Delulu mind, I was like, we can do it, we'll persevere. That didn't happen. Hunter has to go on vacation, so she had stuff to do, and so we could not complete. In my Delulu mind, I was like, we can do it. We could not do it. So here's my thing, right? I already in that video am contributing very little other than like kind of like having a tee-hee when Hunter is right or wrong. because I've seen most of the characters, right? There's only a couple stray characters from, like, Fontaine and Natlin and, like, all of that stuff that I personally, like, didn't get to see when we were doing the story. So I don't want to start Natlin and then, like, my precious few characters that I get to guess, like, I've already been spoiled on them, because, you know, there were so few in the first place. So, here's my thing. Here's what we're going to do about this. It's the same amount of days, right? Because I allotted days for Twisted Wonderland and Genshin, basically alternating between them and Variety and whatever, like until I leave for my trip was kind of the idea. For my job. I keep saying trip. It's a one-way trip, we're not coming back. Anyway, so instead, we are going to full steam ahead at Twisted Wonderland, get caught up, and then when we're caught up, we're done. You know what I mean? I know I have vignettes. I know I have, like, stray vignettes around here and there and whatever, but, like, if I was being diligent, technically we should have done those vignettes when I did those events in the first place, and sometimes we did. With Playful Land, we did do the vignettes. I basically watched other people's captures of them, because you can only see those stories if you have the character cards, right? But I am at peace in my heart with that. I mean, obviously, if I really want to, and I have, like, you know, a hankering for streaming Twisted Wonderland, I can always decide to do vignette reading streams, because I have a feeling we're gonna be in for a rather significant content drought, just because I feel like, okay, so it is to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, as far as I understand, we are caught up with JP mostly. In Japanese, like, Twisted Wonderland land, that was a weird way to say that, sorry. On the JP server, thank you. Can you guys tell that I haven't streamed in a couple days and my brain is, like, just sludge? It's just leaking out of my ears. Anyway, so on the JP server, they have started book 8, but, like, an insignificant amount. Like, I think they got maybe 20 chapters or, like, 10 chapters of book 8, right? So I'm sure book 8 is on the horizon. If I had to guess a release date for book 8, I'm gonna go ahead and take a stab in the dark and say that it's either going to be before... How do I explain this? Before Halloween, like before the next big Halloween event or after. So basically it's either gonna happen in September, which feels a little too soon because we just got book 7.5. So to me that also kind of doesn't make sense, but whatever. Maybe, who knows? Or it's going to be in December. And December also corresponds with the release of the anime. So that to me makes a bit more sense if they're like, hey, right? You know, the anime's coming out and also, you know, there's this new thing in the story. Like, basically, they can use the anime to advertise how much further ahead the game is, in a way, right? So, yeah, so maybe in the future, you know, I will do vignette reading streams, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, like, after we get caught up with Twisted Wonderland, like, nothing else is happening. They've been running Culinary Crucible. Did I skip Culinary Crucible? Yes. I have never not completed an event before in Twisted Wonderland. I have even done the Culinary Crucibles, but they have pushed me to my breaking point, and they're also rerunning the same Culinary Crucibles, so I don't think it doesn't count against me, if that makes sense. Like, I'm pretty sure my event portfolio is still technically complete. Actually, why don't we look? See, okay, so I don't know if it's just not showing up because I didn't do it. Or if it would have shown up. Like, but I did read the first chapter, so I don't think that, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because they've happened before, they just don't count. But, like, do you guys have stuff after this? If you've done Culinary Crucible and you're on the EN server, can you tell me if you have things under here, right? Because oh no, it does say chapter 1. Okay, yeah, so I have 1 unfinished. My perfect account squandered, man. If I ever wanted to sell my account, damn. I'm just joking, mostly. Okay, that one must have been new, though, and I didn't do it. Oops. Anyway, I don't give a fuck anymore. I honestly don't. You couldn't pay me to care. Oh, that other Culinary Crucible also is also incomplete. Oopsie. Anyway, I could not, I don't care. I do not care. You cannot pay me enough to care. Usually I do them. I mean, you guys can see this one's done. Usually I do them. The last two I didn't do. They'll rerun them though. They're constantly rerunning them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. It'll get done someday if I remember to do them, which maybe I won't, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, oops. That's like, you guys can see, look at my perfect account record. Like, everything's completed, except, like, I gave up. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. 7.5 is out, but in JP, they're already doing book 8. I haven't gotten very far, considering the first part's not even halfway done. Yeah, like, it's, you know, it's going to, I don't think we're ever gonna be fully synced up, where they're getting the same thing we are. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think they're ever going to be like the simultaneous, like an anime where the sub and the dub release on the same day. I don't think that that's ever going to happen for us. I don't think that we're ever going to get both book 8, you know? Like, they have to translate it and whatever. So, like, at this point, I don't know. I kind of think it's gonna be December. So, I mean, that just means that me, as Calxiyn, after I catch up with Twisted Wonderland, I'm out of the Twisted Wonderland mines and I get to, you know, play other games. Again, I love Twisted Wonderland. With all my heart and soul, you know? It's not a hardship. I don't want to say it's a hardship to play or whatever, but, you know, this is my theater school debt. This is my punishment for not being consistent with streaming when I was at theater school, which, you know, in hindsight, I probably couldn't have done because I probably would have died. But, like, just from the sheer amount of the stress of it all, I probably, like, would have, like, you know, fallen over. Like, I would have just been too exhausted. I would not have been able to withstand the pressure, but technically, like, the thing that we're going through now is not normal. It's not normal. Even someone that starts the game today wouldn't have what I have, basically. So, you know, this is a self-inflicted sort of thing. Some event cards don't even have vignettes. Yes, you are right, Meryl. You are right. That is correct. But yeah, so basically, to recap, we are going full steam ahead Twisted Wonderland until Hunter is back to record the other half of Genshin Guessing, which is already going to be questionably scheduled because Arnold needs to stream Sneznaya, and so Hunter returns as soon as Sneznaya comes out. So we're planning to do it, I think, the Monday, so basically, and I know that sucks for some of you guys, because you guys are like, Cal, I have a life, like, I can't watch you stream 6 hours of Twisted Wonderland every day. Don't worry about it, it's okay. This is my gift to you guys for when I'm gone. If you can't watch it now, don't worry, you know? It'll be okay, basically. You can watch the VOD. The VODs are a gift to all of you for when I'm gone and you miss me and you're like, Cal, I'm so sad and whatever, like, you can just watch it. So, you know, I'm gonna be doing, like, it's going to start to get a little crazy and a little ridiculous. I'm warning everybody now. This is everybody's warning, right? Tomorrow is Red Carpet Madness or whatever it's called, right? Then we have the Nightmare Before Christmas event. That's gonna be another, like, 3 days of stream. Then we have Popcorn Panic. Then we have the Tangled event. Then we have the Romance event, right? I'm here during work, don't tell my boss. That is okay. You should, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? Your boss makes $1, you make a dime, so you should watch Cal play Twisted Wonderland on company time. Hi, Cloud, I was just explaining how we are. So we are, to recap for everybody, because I cannot stream Genshin for Genshin guessing related reasons, we are no longer alternating between Genshin and Twisted Wonderland anymore. We are full steam ahead for Twisted Wonderland, which means I'm basically gonna be streaming Twisted Wonderland almost every single day for the next, like, week and a half. So, with that said, we should probably get started on this. My plan for today, on this particular day, you don't have to do the Rapunzel event. Son, I need to know. Come on. I've never not done an event, I say, as I just admitted that I flopped with Culinary Crucible. It's okay to skip it, but we need to inspect it, even if it's ass. I understand. I get it. I know. But, like, you know, this isn't just, how do I explain this? This is a lot like Arnold's retrospective with Genshin, right? Arnold has done every single event. It's kind of a time capsule. I know technically other people have time capsuled it out there. You know, I'm sure that they don't need my particular reading of all of the characters or whatever. Like, there's evidence that this event existed on the internet. However, I think that it would be nice for us to talk about it and how bad it might be bad. It's probably bad. I've seen people be very sad. Right? But even though it's bad, we should still inspect it, is my opinion. Now, we should probably get to going with Playful Land here so I can do my... So, basically, the Calxiyn Cares Too Much stuff I'm alluding to is I finally got my copy of Rootbound by Margaret Owen, and it's a Tangled sequel novel that is officially made by Disney. And, I pre-ordered it thinking it would come to my house the exact same day that it dropped, and then for some reason it shipped from the United States, so I'm a whole week late. However, I kind of want to make a video on it for Calxiyn Cares Too Much, because I used to do that for the Ruby novels, and I think that that would be kind of fun. I don't know exactly how to structure it yet. I feel like it's going to be pretty casual. You know, it's gonna kind of be at the front half, it's gonna be a non-spoiler, and then the second half, it's gonna be like a spoiler thing. So basically, I have to go read the book. So my plan for today, to make this a full work day, even though this morning I went to the eye doctor. What was I saying? I had to go to the eye doctor. So we've already cut into my full work day. To make this my full work day, we're gonna stream Twisted Wonderland, then I'm gonna go read the book and start taking notes for my potential review, we'll see, question mark, basically. And then I should probably go on the Lodestar server, because Arista took some money for people's fortune readings, and then the server died that same night, and I didn't mean to scam people, but she kind of scammed people because she took their money and didn't do their tarot cards, so I should probably log in later. But I wish they had done something along the lines of Stitch one, getting sucked into the book. Or like they had to act out the plot of the book and stuff. That might be a spoiler. I know that it's another, it's another weird one. So I already knew that. Don't worry about it. But aren't they sucked into the book? I thought they were sucked in the book. I thought that was the whole point. They don't actually go to a festival like they do in Hunchback, right? Or are they just reading the book and imagining themselves as the characters? Is that what, we'll see. But yeah, here's what's interesting, okay? I was actually gonna clip farm this, and now I'm probably not going to because I kind of don't care anymore, but I'll tell you guys because I started talking about this during the Genshin stream, and then I triggered a cutscene, and then we didn't talk about it. So, I saw this comment about me, right? You know, as it happens. Of course it's about me, that's why we're all here. No, but it was about me, and the person said, she's kind of a hypocrite. She criticizes Disney all the time, but she loves Twisted Wonderland. Oh my god. The heavens. Do you guys hear that? I think my mom's using the hose outside. I was like, Zeus, question mark? Mickey Mouse is coming to strike me down. Okay, here's my thing though. If we expand that sentence a little bit, right? She criticizes Disney for, right, their current production pipeline, how they've been treating the animators and also the songwriters, if you watch the Frozen 2 documentary. Their shyness or musical reluctance, if you will, like every musical being a hybrid ever since Tangled. I guess I don't like half of the 3D catalog. Those are like the 4 things that the Calxiyn Disney criticism falls into. Like Disney as a company, the production pipeline, the animators and the songwriters, right? Specifically Frozen 2, but also on the Pixar side, Inside Out. Just, you know, not having criticism generally about the 3D catalog, I guess. You know, throw in there me criticizing some stupid shit that, like, the, you know, Jared Bush and, oh god, who's Pete Docter and, like, the current, like, heads of the studios have said, okay? And then if we continue the rest of the sentence, but she plays Twisted Wonderland, which is an independently operated game, right? Disney doesn't operate it. They have just acquired the license to Disney IP, so Disney has nothing to do, a game that Disney has nothing to do with, that none of my complaints apply to, and that actually stops, when you think about it, before the era of Disney that I hate, right? Like, if we're going to say that I hate the 3D era, which I don't, right? But let's just pretend in this person's mind, right, that that's, like, the problem. Twisted Wonderland, if you'll notice, actually stops before Tangled, other than the Tangled event, which is why I just sort of thought of this just now. So I thought that was really funny. Because even in the mind of this person, and that's the other thing, I would understand their logic if they said I hate Disney but love Twisted Wonderland, because yeah, that would be weird. But they acknowledge themselves that all I do is criticize Disney. So it's just kind of funny that they're like, but she loves Twisted Wonderland, and I'm like, yeah, wait until you hear that I also love Kingdom Hearts. And I also love Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid. It's almost like the things that I'm criticizing and the things that I'm like, they don't share the criticism. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. There's no correlation between these things. Unless I was someone that hated all of Disney, then you could probably argue, right? But I just thought that was funny, because I'm like, how is that hypocritical? That doesn't make sense. And, like, shockingly, I also criticize Twisted Wonderland, because sometimes Twisted Wonderland isn't always good either. So where is the hypocrisy? I was gonna, like, make a short about that. I was gonna clip farm that, and then I changed my mind. I got bored. I'm like, I don't even feel the need to respond to this anymore. This is stupid. Like, you can criticize the things that you like. It's normal. I would say it's probably healthy. But yeah, I just thought that was so funny. Because for the most part, Twisted Wonderland completely ignores, again, that part of Disney that people would probably be like, oh, Calxiyn hates everything after Tangled, right? Which I don't. I like Tangled, and I like Frozen, and even though I have a lot of beef with Moana, I would say I like the concept of Moana, if that makes sense. Like, I like the concept of Moana, and visually, I think Moana is very impressive, all of that stuff, right? But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, wait until you hear that I still audition for Disney, despite criticizing Disney. Wait until you hear other things that I'm not gonna tell you at the moment. Like, you know what I mean? This person would literally drop dead, I think. If you know, you know. But I thought that was really funny. But yeah, Twisted Wonderland is literally, you could say, Calxyn's perfect game. Because outside of the, yeah, and there's also a Big Hero 6 event now in JP, I think. Outside of events, like, there is no Magnifico character. Not that I would hate Twisted Wonderland if suddenly it started incorporating stuff from Wish. I actually think Twisted Wonderland would probably make it better because they get to have a second stab at it and they get to have their own interpretation. But I read that and I was like, you know that I don't hate Disney. You even said that all I do is I criticize Disney heavily, but I love Twisted Wonderland. And I'm like, these statements have nothing to do with each other. It doesn't make sense. So that was funny. And I was gonna talk about that in my Genshin, during my Genshin stream I was clip farming and then I got interrupted by the cutscene and so I never explained myself. So there's the explanation, in case you desperately needed to know what I was gonna say. Okay, Ernesto. I'm trying to channel Ernesto. Reporting in, we're finally down to just 3 Night Raven College students still at large. Everything is proceeding as you requested. I certainly remain aware of the deadline. The remainder will be apprehended in no time. What? You say the repair costs for the park and the puppets are running too high, but that's the trade-off for capturing... Yes, sir, of course. My deepest apologies. Yes, sir, you can always count on me to deliver, if you'll excuse me. Like I give a flying fuck. I'm gonna make fellow say fuck. Like I give a flying fuck about the stupid repair bills. Remind me again, what was it that drove those bills up? Oh yes, it was those same Night Raven College brats. That's you guys, in case you weren't listening. Oh. I thought he was still, like, talking to the person on the phone, just not actually. You know, like, in his mind, he was saying, oh, but you wanted them captured, so it's all your fault. Ah, how inconsiderate of me. Must be pretty hard to open your mouths right about now, huh? Oh, no, they can't even speak anymore. Guys, is Gino a puppet? Like, are they gonna reveal that Gino is, like, I don't know, he's a puppet, like, stopped midway through the process? I don't know. It seems Lilia and Jade have lost the ability to move their mouths. Trey and Jack too. Guess they're the first of us to go. We're not far off from joining them, huh? It's creeping me out, Jade being all silent. How are little Shrimpy and Sealy holding up? They got nabbed at the same time Jade did, right? I think they're not doing so hot either. I don't want to be a puppet. Only thing I want to be is a great mage at Night Raven College. I wish I was back at school. This again? You people really don't know when to give up. School is utterly useless. Shouldn't this whole situation clue you in on that? We never went to school, but we still pulled one over on you fancy smanchy students. Ernesto's so funny. Being good and studying isn't what gets you ahead. Having the power to survive in the real world is. What? That didn't seem like it made sense. Is what gets you ahead. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. That's fine. School's an important place. I love how, like rah-rah education. Yeah, Twisted Wonderland. Do you guys hear that? All of you that are watching me during class right now, Twisted Wonderland's trying to impart, you know, how important going to school is. And I still don't see what's so important about a place where you gotta mind your manners and sit stock still with your nose buried in books. If you're actually grateful for the opportunity to waste your time like that, I worry for your future, Cal. Damn. Studying doesn't get you ahead, kidnapping children does, guys. I heavily question how these two are gonna get redeemed, because I know that they are, but like, you're gonna redeem the human traffickers? Like, I feel like that the only way they get out of this is if they're victims themselves and that they grew up in this life so they don't know any better and they really make amends. But I'm like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Oh, what's this? You can't respond? Pity. You know, Ernesto, you really don't get what school is about. Are we gonna have, like, a friendship monologue? What? Sorry, I have to chew my cabasa. If what Cal was trying to tell you went that far over your head, it speaks volumes about the kind of person you are. School's a hassle, but it's far from pointless. Not that you guys could conceive that. If you've never been, how are you supposed to know how useful or useless it is? But keep spitballing, it's funny to listen to. You know what you boys are, sore losers. Mr. Foulworth, I have a situation report. Let's hear it. What? The last 3 students have almost made it to the Playful stage, and you just let them through? Lousy, useless puppets, the lot of you. I take it they've made it here safely, then. I wanted to avoid a direct confrontation, but I guess that ship sailed. The handoff deadline's getting real close. Might as well take care of this myself. They're Night Raven College students, sure, but there's just 3 of them. What's more, it's 3 of the original chumps that fell for my invitation. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't realize that that's what they were setting up. That is kind of smart. Fellow Foulworth's got this in the bag. Come on, Gino. You know what I wish I could have done, guys? I wish I could have done, like, a sort of Cockney accent for him. Like, a really, like, I don't know, like, chimney sweep type thing. But I guess it would make sense that he sounds posh because he wants to pretend to be a bit more right than he actually is. You know, that's a headcanon I have, too, about Roman, that Roman speaks in, like Roman's natural voice has a sort of, like, Newsies accent, I guess is the best way to put it. And then, like, you know, but obviously he trained himself out of that. That's one of my, and you guys see I'm wearing my Roman shirt because Roman from Ruby is based off of the exact same character that fellow wanted. You know what would be crazy? Guys, wait a second. I just had a vision for a video. Wait, am I cooking? Let me know. Hold on. Am I cooking? What if I did a video comparing different, oh my god, the voice crack, different adaptations of the Disney characters to each other? So what I mean by that is, right, for example, the Twisted Wonderland Ursula, the Descendants Ursula daughter, the Once Upon a Time Ursula, right? The Disney Sparkling Star ? Ursula, maybe. All right. Then there's the Ursula and some of the Disney books like running around. Like that may be cool. We might be cooking. Maybe we'll throw Ever After High in there, right? You know, I don't know. Could be something. We'll see. Anyway, gonna be a great mage. Okay, I'm guessing Gino is going to be the first one to be sympathetic, and then after that, you know, I think Ernesto's gonna change his mind. I like that idea. I think that'd be fun. I would obviously have to, like, watch all the things. I mean, there's Cookie Run Kingdom, maybe has some fairy tale characters. Did I just make that up? I don't know. You know, Genshin Impact obviously has Odette now, who is based off of Swan Lake. I don't know, guys. Cooking, burning the food. That might be a fun thing to do, but yeah, I do have an idea similar to that, but it's like, I watched every, like, Prince and the Pauper, right? Like, something like that, like a fairy tale sort of ranking thing. For specific, like, I watched every version of the Christmas Carol. I don't know, but like a video like that would take so much work. That's the only reason why I haven't gone there yet. But yeah, have we gotten any more news about Sparkling Star? I don't think that we have. I think that was it. They only introduced the 4, which I'm surprised because, like, they didn't really introduce any new Disney IP. Like, you would think that they would have had a Frozen group in there for one of the Sparkling Star's first group. Like, I'm really surprised that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of actually surprised that they didn't throw in, right? Because the groups right now, we had Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Monsters, Inc., and then Mickey. And I guess, like, Mickey is kind of the universal whatever, but, like, I'm surprised that we only got 4 groups introduced. Yes, Into the Woods, that's a good one. This is it. Fellow Foulworth and Gino should be up ahead. Along with all the guys that got turned into puppets. Man, they're really putting us through the ringer here. What's wrong, guys? Try not to be too scared. Even the best plan won't work if you psych yourselves out first. Don't worry, it'll be fine. More than fine. It's gonna go great. There you go. There you go again, claiming stuff you just can't prove. You just say whatever pops into your head, don't you? Well, whatever. We've come this far. Let's bang out this capture plan. That's better, Ace. Now you've got a much brighter look on your face. Ooh, that rhymes. I'm pretty sure there will be more. I wonder when the game's, like, actually coming out. Do gacha games have sort of a time of year where they tend to launch, or is it just, like, whatever, you know? Because, like, they announced all this stuff, but we have no release date. Maybe they'll do it at D23? Cooking? Question mark? Burning the food? Who knows? Okay, is everybody ready? Yep. Fellow! We're here! We're here! We're here? That's the best you've got? Shouldn't you have a more dramatic introductory line to mark your entry? Oh, hey, Ernesto and Gino are up on stage. I was somewhat expecting them to run away. I'll give them credit for being brave enough to stick around. Finally, the man of the hour. I'll have you know it was brutal trying to get here. Strange, I could have sworn I sent puppets to fetch you to me. You sure did, tons of them. But we drove them all off. You should have shelled out. What? You should have shelled out for a big old horse-drawn carriage to come get us. Hey, fellow, Gino, how about you just stop doing this? Change back all the people that got turned into puppets and send us back to Sage's Island. If you do, then we can all be friends again. Kaleem, I'd love if you would just whip out your money. Please tell him that you'll pay him more than his boss. I'm begging you. I am on my knees. Like, that would be such the obvious thing to do. Yeah, you are right, Igor. Like, there's other areas of the map that are suspiciously hidden by clouds, and I think one of them might be Winnie the Pooh, which is interesting, because, like, I feel like Winnie the Pooh is kind of like Tarzan, like, runs into copyright problems sometimes, but... What? Friends again! I thought he was gonna say for fuck's sake. Friends again? I'm floored! Even now, you still see us as friends? Don't you get it? The only thing you guys have ever been to me is a bunch of easy marks. The most gullible group of suckers I've ever seen, in fact. I didn't see the harm in humoring Calxiyn and hearing your side of the story first, but judging by your demeanor, you have no intention of doing as he asks. Why should I? Granted, if I leveraged a bit of my authority as park administrator, I could easily dispel Playful Land's magic and turn the people puppets back into people again. So you'll do it? Thank you so much. I said I could, not that I would. Geez Louise, you won't even let me finish. Don't they teach you kids common decency in school? Look, I've got my own reasons for this. If you really think you can beat me, you're welcome to go ahead and try. Though, you'll have to make it through this army of puppets first. A bunch of puppets came out of hiding and got in front of Fellow. Called it. Of course you'd send out a bunch of puppets we can't touch and then sit back and watch from a safe distance while they do your dirty work. You're a total coward. Ah, please, Ace. It's called cunning. That's how you survive in the real world. You should try it sometime. You've already put me through a lot of trouble. The least you could do is make it up to me is put on an entertaining finale. Now it's showtime. We have a literal prince in the Al-Azim air, and this man only cares about money. How is this still a problem? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you just pay him off. Like, why can't Calxiyn just buy the park and be like, I'm in charge now and I want you to run like a good park? You know what I mean? Like, he has the money. I'm sure it would be fine. This place isn't exactly easy to maneuver in. Everybody stay sharp. Oh, to maneuver in. You can't run forever. You'll be joining your puppet friends soon enough. And once we hand you over, we'll have it made. It's true that we stand no chance against this many puppets, but... Hey, Fellow! Check this out. What? That's the foxtail I gifted you. What about it? I'm gonna wind up, swing, and hop. What are we doing? You threw it outside, and it flew so far it went out of sight. I'm guessing you must have used magic on that. But why? Oh no, this is terrible. I think I lost something. Sorry to trouble you, but can you find it for me? I was wondering where you were going with it. Not what I expected at all. Surely you could have come up with a better plea for your life than that. Sorry to ruin your little giggle fit, but are you sure you got room to gloat? Oh yeah, the puppets. The puppets are looking for the lost item. I get it. Okay. Because they did that before when that person that was getting carried away in a cage lost his wallet. So that was good planting and payoff for that. What's wrong, Gino? Why so nervous, The puppets have stopped. Something strange. It's a special piece of Playful Land memorabilia I got from a real friendly guy, you know? I can't believe I lost something so precious. Hey, you work here, right, Miss? Could you find my lost item for me? Okay, this is kinda smart. Understood. We'll have it back in no time. Sweet, you guys rule. Thanks a bunch. Okay, this makes sense. This makes sense to me. They're allowed. They are allowed to do this. Wait, what? Okay, hold it right there, puppets. Why are you leaving the theater? I never said you could do that. We have to find a lost item. How do some kids' orders take precedent over mine? What's going on here? I didn't give any orders. The puppets work for the park. Ensuring a good park experience for visitors matters more to them than your commands. Calxiyn mentioned how earnest the puppets were about helping out in the park. Even after you showed your true colors, they've been working diligently away. And how could such hard workers ever ignore a visitor in need? What? Hey, puppets, finding lost items isn't your job. Your job is to beat up these little punks. So quit it with the hand wringing. Shut up and do your, and do your job. But, sir. Oh, poor me. That souvenir was so special. My time at Playful Land will be ruined without it. Oh my god, this is so funny. This is actually smart. What I'm concerned about is how we're getting to the end of this situation, but you know, I'll try to keep an open mind. How awful! We'll go search for it right away. Find it, find the visitor's lost item. They're marching out, all of them. They're marching out, all of them. Hey, get back here! What kind of suckers fall for such terrible acting? Gino, stop them! But then, wait a minute! Doesn't that go against the park rules though? So isn't Gino going to start turning into a... Okay, here's what I think is gonna happen. Gino's gonna start turning into a puppet, so Ernesto's gonna have no choice but to redo the thing. Or sorry, to undo the thing, and then he's gonna see the error of his ways because he lost the only thing that was important to him, which was Gino. Lock it in. Lock it in, chat. Stop that, you ninny! You know attacking the puppets won't work! No violence! Oh, wait, what? But it just didn't work. It didn't turn him? But the other time it did work. They just got punished for it. I don't understand. Like, what do you mean it didn't work? Is it because Gino doesn't have any magic? You just tried to hit them really hard? I don't quite understand. Okay. The puppets are still walking out! Wait. Come back! I guess the argument is that you can't damage the puppets, but Gino didn't really do any damage to the puppets. I think he stopped him before he could do anything. Oh, that was super unclear. I think you're right, though. That was unclear. It looked like he, like, already wound up and gave him a smack. So I guess he did stop him. Okay, let's just believe that that's what happened then. I thought he did actually hit him and they forgot their own rules. That's too bad. The puppets! They've all left! Welp! Welp. Oh my god. Welp, all your puppet shields are gone! What now? Damn. Yeah, I wish that was a bit more clear. Like, you could have had Ernesto, like, zooming towards Gino and pulling his model back or something. That would have helped, I think. It's time for my secret weapon. Your secret weapon? Everyone, stay sharp. Run for it, Gino! What? Are you kidding? Hello? What? Are they models or are they sprites? They are live 2D models, Pedigree. Also, hi, how's it going? Oh, that surprised me so much. I needed extra processing time. They took off running at full speed? Hey, get back here! Where's your pride, huh? If I had any of that, I wouldn't have spent all that time buttering up you twerps! Wait, please, I just want to talk with you guys! The daggers your friends are glaring at us say otherwise! Hard pass! Whoops, I guess I let my anger show. We can't let them get away. Let's surround and capture them. Right, Ortho, you head them off in the air. Kaleem, you get outside and block the theater door so they can't escape. Good idea, on it. Bro, there's totally a trapdoor or something, like. Ace, something tells me blocking the door wasn't your actual goal there. Let me guess, you were trying to get Kaleem away from this area, weren't you? Excuse me, I'll have you know that was a show of consideration towards our kind-hearted Kaleem. He gave them a fair shot at talking this out. They're the ones who threw it away. True, I suppose we've given them plenty of chances already. Exactly. So now it's time to give them a whole boatload of payment. Oh, Twisted Wonderland. Ugh, okay, I've had it up to here with chasing you around. What the fuck was that? What is What's Ace's signature spell again? What does it do? It copies somebody else's spell, doesn't it? Did the streets tell me that? Did I just make that up? All our escape routes are blocked off. Okay, we're just smacking people. We're just smacking a way out. Stop that, you ninny! Are you trying to hit me with your hammer? Aim for them! Magic that's barely worth mentioning and a hammer that can't tell the difference between friend and foe. Actually, is it just me, or has Gino's hammer only been falling on Ernesto? I think you're right. Joke's on us for taking these two clowns seriously. Let's wrap this circus up. Take this. Yeah, I'm surprised that Ace can't copy Ernesto's spell and then undo the magic, but I guess the magic over the park isn't Ernesto's magic. He can just undo it as park administrator. Like, it's like a coding permission sort of thing, I guess. I think I may have only seen Pinocchio like once. Yeah, that agree. We talked about that in the very first stream we did. Like, I read a passage from the Disney Villain Bible about the villains in Pinocchio just because I was like, let's all be honest with ourselves. You guys have not rewatched Pinocchio forever. Hi, Fireman. How's it going? Curses. Doesn't matter how fancy your school is. You're just still snot-nosed brats. So how are you getting the better of us? Easy. Everything we know we learned from that fancy school you keep sneering at. We never lose to a couple of guys too cowardly to face us head on. It be going, I feel that. You might as well admit we've won. You could have avoided all this. Oh, you could have avoided this whole ordeal if you had just listened when we were trying to reason with you. Now turn everybody back into people. You got me. Your power has left me awestruck. Oh no. Please don't let him manipulate you guys again. What? Buttering us up now isn't gonna get you off the hook. Oh yes, I'm well aware we've made a tremendous, horrible mistake. We would never be so shameless as to beg on hands and knees for forgiveness. Okay, something's fishy about this 180. Yeah, he looks pretty beaten up, but if we let him get in close, he could still attack. I think it's because his spell is charming people. I think we talked about that last stream. How is Calxiyn? I'm doing good. The weather is kind of, you know, I'm one of those people that's very susceptible to feeling what the weather's like, and it's a pretty, like, dreary sort of day today, so I'm a little bit, like, I don't know. I feel a little weird, but, you know, doing Twisted Wonderland is always nice, though. Why, I would never! The battle's already decided, is it not? I love how, like, I feel like I had a better accent for this guy the other streams that we did. Now he's just become Preminger. Like, it's a temporary setback. It's a momentary lapse. Arnold said the same thing about what? What, he's streaming right now, or? Even if I did try to run and fight, I'm no match for you, scholars. You've won fair and square. Goodness, have I ever underestimated you, Night Raven College scholars? Being vulnerable to the weather? Oh, like, when did he say that? Today? Right now? Before? Yeah. I wonder what it's like. Oh, yesterday. Yeah, I wonder what it's like where he is right now. Now I realize more than ever just how elite you are, how far out of your league I am. Out of our league? You're right about that. You finally come to accept reality, huh? Oh yes, I assure you, you've drilled that lesson into me quite thoroughly. Your magic was astonishing. I could spend my whole life striving for that level of precise power and never reach it. Who's this extraordinary mage? Why, it's Ace. Who could stand in the way of his overflowing talent? No one, that's who. No average Joe would have thought to misdirect the puppets with a lost item, much less been bold enough to try. Yes, I've been thoroughly outplayed. The self-possessed way this freshman carries himself shows incredible promise. And Ortho, your beams were amazing. Where were you hiding that kind of power? You truly represent the future of technology. A plain old guy like me couldn't even begin to imagine what makes you tick. You must be made with the most cutting-edge technology that these prestigious scholars could have come up with. Does the name Ortho secretly mean future? Sounds like our dictionaries need updating, not to mention the whole world. You're a literal miracle, one containing infinite possibilities, simply incredible. Oh gosh, everything you're saying is indeed factually correct, but it's still so embarrassing to hear out loud. Oh, guys! Yeah, huh? Wait. Hold up. Why am I getting all giddy for? I can't let this guy's flattery go to my head. Oh, yes, of course! We can't stand around chatting all night. I'll turn all the puppets back. Come on, I'll show you where they're being held. Oh, guys. They're cooked. They're so cooked. I think it is his power. Oh, no. They're so screwed. Please do. We've been so worried about them. Let's go, Ace. All right, good call. Oh my god, this is just like fellow manipulating Pinocchio. What's this? Your outfits are rather dirty now that I'm looking. Would you care to change? What? I don't know if there'd be much point. I'm fine as I am. Let's just go get the others. Oh no, this simply won't do at all. You're about to come to your friends' rescue. In their eyes, you'll be the heroes who save them from peril. Great big shining stars. Looking all raggedy. Raggedy? Looking all raggedly. Looking all I like raggedy. I think that's funny. Looking all raggedy is hardly fitting. You'd ruin the touching moment. Wouldn't you agree, Gino? Oh, God. There, you see, Gino thinks so as well. Stars deserve only the finest costumes. Here. Come on, take it easy. Life is fun. Now that you mention it, I could go for a change of clothes. Yeah, we should save everyone in style. Oh, for fuck's sakes. I like how it's like life is fun, because that's like, hi, dee-dee-dee-dee, an actor's life for me, like the little song that they have. Of course, take your time. And only if you'd like, I'd be happy to look after the items in your pockets while you get changed. Oh my god, if he steals their magic pens, they're actually cooked. I know they can still do magic without their pens, they're just at risk at like accumulating the blot inside of their person. And this is an emergency, so if there was ever a time to accumulate blot inside of your person, it would probably be today. But guys, oh my god, they're so stupid. Oh, they're cooked. That'd be great, thanks. I've got a pack of tissues, some mints. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten I left this in my pocket. Here's my Playful Land ticket. Great, I'll take good care of everything. Okay, we'll go change and be right back. Are they getting other outfits? Whoa! Huh? I'm losing strength. Ortho? Hey, stay with me. Is this what I think it is? But how? Oh no! He's turning into puppet, but how? Puppet Ortho, no! What happened? Did they do something illegal? Like going backstage where they're not supposed to? What happened, Ortho? Collapsing out of nowhere like that? Oh no. That wood growing out of your face. Why are you turning into a puppet? I don't know. I haven't done anything bad. Ah, you stupid little twerps! You sealed your own fate the very instant you handed me these! Oh no! It's against the rule, like, because they parted themselves from their tickets? Those are the tickets we gave you, but one's been torn up. I warned you when you first entered Playful Land! Your validated tickets are proof that you're a legitimate park visitor, remember? Proof? And if anything happens to— oh, for fuck's sakes, I really thought I was gonna be stealing the pens. This is so bad. Guys, oh my god. You're no longer permitted to be here! In other words, you're unauthorized visitors! And that, young scholars, is quite the misdeed, wouldn't you say? Hi, Madcap. How's it going? Ace, quick, get your ticket back. I'm on it. I think not. Our only hope is Calxiyn. Not after we got so far. Oh my god, guys, this is so bad. Calxiyn is our only hope. Oh no. Jeez. They're so cooked. How are they gonna get out of this? Oh no. Guys, we're cooked. Hey guys, I've been blocking the door from the outside, but no one ever tried to come through, so I thought I'd check up on things here. While I was out there, I couldn't help looking up at the sky. The view of the stars is breathtaking. It's so different over the water. What if Calxiyn makes a wish upon a star to turn everyone back? Is that anything? I don't know. Honestly, it's such a shame we're fighting when we could be feasting on good food and admiring the stars together instead. Guys? Oh, brother. Oh my god, it looks like he has no eyeball in there, but I know he's just closing his eye. It's just his mark. Calxiyn, we got bigger problems. Ace! And Orthos turned into a puppet too! What did I miss? Fellow got us! He stole our tickets and tore them up. That meant we lost our right to be here, so we got turned into puppets. Stole, please! You handed me those tickets completely voluntarily! I still can't believe I did that. How could I have been so careless? I think, okay, here's my actual theory. I think that because Calxiyn is already happy all the time, Ernesto's power of manipulation isn't going to work on him. Maybe. I don't know. You handed them over yourselves? You should know to keep hold of your valuables at all times. Maybe I should have brought you guys some handbags. That way you could have kept them in a safe place. I hate being so casually talked down to, but I also can't argue. Actually, the more I think about what happened, the less it makes sense. Somehow I got all carried away, excited, and didn't stop to question the finer details. Then I let Fellow talk me into just handing my ticket over like it was no big deal. I'm surprised that Fellow is letting them say this in front of Calxiyn. Like, maybe he just thinks Calxiyn is dumb, but... Have you learned to fear my signature spell now? Signature spell? Is that why they did what you told them to? I knew it, mind control magic. But how is Fellow able to cast such a powerful magic with his minuscule reserves? No, that doesn't matter right now. Calxiyn's in danger of falling for it too. Are you ready, Calxiyn? Because you're going to hand me your ticket just like they did. Whee! Guys, I can't believe this.
Come on, to the theater!
Oh my god, that's how he sounds? Okay, he did not say take it easy. He said to the theater. Calxiyn, run!
Life is fun.
Oh my god, I did not do a voice like that at all for it. Is there anything different about me? I feel pretty much the same as usual, and I've still got my ticket. Huh? There's no change? See the pathetic looks on those scholars' faces, Gino. Relax, kids. That was just a jape, a bit of humor on my part. You think my magic controls people's minds? It's nothing so grand. In fact, I resent being held to the same standard as you arrogant mages with your reliance on magical might. My signature spell, Life is Fun, does one single simple thing. It makes people a smidge more optimistic. Oh, man. And Calxiyn's already so optimistic. A smidgen more optimistic? What kind of vague measurement is a smidgen? And I'd appreciate a more elaboration on the term optimistic as well. I don't know. Spells, do spells really have to be explained in such granular detail? I mean, the best way I can describe my signature spell, Oasis Maker, is it makes really good water and lots of it. Really? I could analyze the water's composition and calculate the max volume based on magic consumption and water generation rates. I guess, but don't sweat the small stuff like that. Still, researching it with you sounds like that could be fun. Let's do it sometime when we're not in a life or death situation! Is this conversation really necessary? Oh, sorry, I just get so curious about things that can't be quantified. Anyway, I get what Fellow's talking about. That signature spell's the reason why I've been in such oddly high spirits since yesterday, huh? Yeah, because I guess what it's doing is making people think like, oh, don't worry, this guy's trustworthy, hee hee hee. That's right, you were ready to do a ton of things that you wouldn't normally do, all without a second thought, right? But as you boys so gleefully pointed out, my magical prowess is quite lacking. I mean, it doesn't work on just anyone. For example, I can't exactly put someone in a good mood when they've seen their friends fall before their very eyes. I can't force someone to do something they're genuinely opposed to against their will. All I can do is give them a nudge, just enough to make them go, hey, why not? If someone's wary of me, simply talking to them one-on-one won't make that wariness go away. The best I can do is hope they've got friends who are less guarded. There are plenty of other restrictions too. Okay, so this makes sense. Sounds like a real hassle to use with all those limitations and drawbacks, but I guess it makes sense if people are already willing to trust you, right? It's just, you know, it's the why not. Oh, but that's the fun part! You elite scholars might laugh at my piddly little spell, but that's where the great fellow Foulworth's conversational skills shine, that is true. He doesn't need magic when it's just, like, him. Once I use my silver tongue to make a suggestion sound like fun, then use my magic to help with that last little nudge, everyone goes astray. It's actually hilarious how easy it is. And since it's not remotely powerful, I can use it as much as I want. It barely accumulates any blood at all. Even the weakest spells can shine when you know just how to use them right. Take you two, for example. You didn't even know I'd use magic until I told you I had, did you? For sure, I didn't notice at all. You're seriously amazing, fellow. Yeah, I'd hate to admit it, but it's true. Considering your spell was too weak to be detected, I figured you were barely a threat. We had the advantage over you when it came to magical power and technomanic energy, but we still lost to your finesse. Well, how does it feel getting one-upped by the very guy you were sneering down before? I'm out of clever comebacks. Now then, your group is down to the one person still able to move. An air-headed little rich boy. Okay, so Ernesto, I feel like this has become a plot hole. Because Ernesto knows that Calxiyn has money. So why doesn't Ernesto just extort Calxiyn for more money than his buyers are paying? You know what I mean? Conversely, there are two of us, not to mention our highly dependable hostages. Something tells me you're not going to win this round handily. He's gonna use us as shields so Calxiyn can't attack. That's that dirty coward. You've got a pretty poor memory for a scholar. I've corrected you before on this. I'm just playing it smart. Plus, in my infinite brilliance, I just had an even better idea. Say, Calxiyn. How'd you like to be our friend? Wait, what? Huh? You want to be friends? Does that mean you want to make up with us? Not quite. I'm suggesting you ditch these Night Raven college kids and join the winning side instead. What? You want me to abandon them? Exactly! You shone more brightly than anyone else in today's show. You got the profile and physique of a natural born. No! Really? This is not smart of Fellow. If I were Fellow, the smart thing to do would have been to ask Calxiyn for money. If you worked with us in Playful Land, you'd be a hit in no time. And the sweetest icing on the cake is your incredible wealth. There's nothing more dependable than that. As long as you have money, every problem in the world can be solved. To name one, for example, the proprietor of this park expects me to hand oh, wait a minute. Maybe we're getting there, hold on. Expects me to hand over all the Night Raven college students. But if you pay me a tiny sum, I'm sure I can talk them into letting you go. Wait, letting you go? Then why aren't we just ransoming for all of them? What do you say? It's not a bad deal, right? It's not bad. That's right! Come on, just ditch all these puppet saps. We'll keep suckering bad kids and live it up here in Playful Land doing whatever we want. You'll feel silly forever seriously studying things at school. If you join us, you can say goodbye to that boring school life forever. Man, okay, we're so back, we're so over, we're so bad. Like, I don't know. Come on, Calxiyn, what do you say? Bro, I can't, like, what do you mean? I feel like what I said was better. But anyway, we're gonna take a quick break. I don't think I need to get up and use the bathroom or anything. But I do want to run an ad just so people are not bothered when they join into the stream. Here's my thing, okay? Wouldn't it be better just to ask Calxiyn for the same amount of money that the ransom guy is charging? What? He's basically saying, like, to Calxiyn, if you give the park owner money, we will specifically let you go, like you and only you. But at that point, I'm like, well, why? Why don't you just let pay for everyone to go? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how we're getting out of this at all, other than Calxiyn making a wish upon a star. Like, I really don't. With only 9 chapters left, I have absolutely no concept about how everybody else gets not turned into puppets anymore. Like, how this resolves whatsoever. Like, I don't know. I do think it's very funny, but I just don't know. I don't know. Anyway, 1 more minute for the ad, and then we will reconvene. You know, the blue fairy? Well, that's a complicated thing. Like, Ortho is kind of based off of the blue fairy sometimes, but not usually. And there is no blue fairy in this event so far. So I don't know if there's suddenly going to be one. I don't know if this is all one big test. And the blue fairy actually owns the park. And then that's gonna be the thing. That would be interesting. If the blue fairy owned the park and all this was a sting operation to get, like, Ernesto in trouble. You know what I mean? But, like, it seems to imply that this human trafficking ring has been going on for a number of years. Not that this is some new sting operation, right? So guys, I don't know, man. But let's get back to it. I think the ad is over now. Ace, Ortho? I've never told anyone this before, but the truth is, I'm really bad at studying. You know we know, right? What a time to fess up. And here I thought those fancy schools only let in bona fide Poindexters. Guys, are we ever going to, like, get the reveal that he just bought his way into school? I feel like that would really have pissed Ernesto off. So I'm surprised we haven't gone there yet, you know? Even when I try to buckle down and study, I always get tempted by something more fun. Beautiful songs, flashy dancing, good food. There are so many temptations in the world. I've got so many things I'd love to be doing besides studying. Silly me. Yes, exactly. Nobody wants to study, right? What could be more tedious? You should be a star instead. But even if there wasn't dancing, singing, and food to tempt me, I would still never view school in a negative light. I'm bad at studying, and I don't like doing it, but I know it's necessary. Besides, school isn't just about studying. It's a place for sharing laughter and surprises, a place where lifelong friendships are formed. Oh. If I hadn't enrolled in Night Raven College, I would have never met Ace or Ortho. These guys are like precious baby brothers to me. I can't imagine life without them. Plus, they're the guys in Scarabia, my classmates, my clubmates. Oh man, Jamil is not getting a name drop in this event. That's kind of diabolical. That's kind of crazy. And so many more people who have become near and dear to me. Studying might be rough sometimes, but when I think about all the friends I've made, I can't help but feel like there's nowhere I'd rather be but Night Raven College. Ah, please, platitudes make me want to puke. All of you skip school to come here without permission. You're all lousy students. Let's be real. Deep down, you all hate school. You can't fool me. Quit with the excuses and just admit it. Oh my god, this is so dramatic. It's not that serious. You're right that skipping school was a bad thing to do. Jamil tried to stop me, but I ignored his warnings. I owe him the biggest apology when I get back. I know I have obligations, but I still want to do fun stuff. Every day is filled with temptations for me. So sometimes it's hard to tell what's right and what's wrong. But I definitely know that abandoning my friends is a bad thing. Fellow, you want to know what I say? I say that there's no way I'm ever abandoning my friends to save myself. That's right, Calxiyn. This is really making a thing out of what I assume is a 10-minute morality segment of Pinocchio. Well, technically, Fenugreek, they're merging, like, everything together. Like, they merged the foxes with Stromboli with Pleasure Island. So they just kind of put them all, like, this is most of the movie, actually. They've just combined it. I had a feeling that'd be his response. I mean, he's such a softie that he wouldn't even abandon a talking... a trash-talking freshman. I thought he was gonna say a talking trash. Yeah, Calxiyn, you really put him on blast. Wow, really? Thanks. Also, what's on blast mean? Oh boy. Way to take the wind out of my sails. I was really hoping I could get your last hope to betray you, teaching you a tough lesson about the real world. But this kid's so much of a good egg, it's actually a letdown. Guess Rippy. I guess rich, preppy kids can afford to be wholesome. Never underestimate Calxiyn Al-Azim. No matter what anyone says, he'll defy all logic and find a way to not only spout impractical platitudes, but mean them. Oh, that's kind of nice. Half the fun of school is having atypical individuals like him around. I'm so glad I got to join Night Raven College, the Night Raven College student body. Haven't we had enough fighting, fellow? Your signature spell makes people more positive, right? That's amazing. Why use something so wonderful for such awful things? It's a waste of perfectly good magic. Why, you ask? Why else? Money! I turn spoiled rich kids like you into puppets and hand them over in exchange for piles and piles of cold hard cash. Money? Well, if a little thing like that is all this is about, I can totally fix it. See, guys, I'm gonna crash out right now. I can't. Whoa, Calxiyn, don't rub fellow's nose in it. Huh? Did I say something wrong? If that was unintentional on your part, you just landed a serious blow. Of course you don't get it. Why would you? Spoiled little rich... Of course you don't get it. Why would you? Spoiled little rich brat who's never wanted for anything in your life. You wouldn't know what it's like for those of us who can't go to school and grow up dirt poor. Uh-oh. Oh, because he said, oh, if it's just a little thing like money, I can fix that. Uh-oh. Yeah, you're right, Gino. Let's teach this fancy smanchy schoolboy a lesson. Oh, no! But wait, don't just think it's money. Is it about now? It's about the principle of the thing? Why can't it be about his money? I get it. They're mad at Calxiyn because Calxiyn said, like, oh, it's just a little thing like money. But at the same time, like, do you care more about your principles or do you care more about the money? Because if it's just about the money, Calxiyn can just pay for everything. Oh, what a kind-hearted scholar you are. That's what I can't stand about you. Wait a minute. What? Is he trying to tear Calxiyn's ticket? I don't think Calxiyn can take much more strain. Calxiyn, you don't have to defend us. Just give fellow what for. Beat him up and teach him a lesson. You say that, but I just can't ignore you guys. I can't just ignore you guys. Why do I use my magic for bad things? Why do I care so much about making money? That's what I want to know. What? That's what I want to know. What do you mean that's what you want to know? You don't know? You don't know why you care so much? Wait, what? Or was he mocking them? The winner here will be me. What? I'm so confused, guys. I don't understand. What does he mean that's what I want to know? Now! Calxiyn! Calxiyn! Gino, hold him in place. No, stop, let me go. Talk about giving me extra work. Excuse me, sir, I'm going to need to check your pocket. Ah, there it is. That looked like there's combat. Yeah, when this event happened, there was combat there, Vet agreed, but because we're watching because the event's no longer functional, you cannot do the fight anymore. There's no mistaking the shiny, sparkling Playful Land ticket. Once I tear this up, you'll be joining the rest of your friends in Puppet Purgatory. Oh, man. Which means I win! Oh, no. Guys, I don't understand. Like, now I'm dead ass. Like, what do you mean we get out? How? Well, now what? Is it possible someone is just pretending? Like that Vil or Leona are already working on an antidote or something. Can't move. I lost. Sorry, guys. Ha! You see that, Gino? I did it! I turned all the Night Raven College students into puppets! Goff, goff. That was rough. No, Calxiyn was our last hope. Seriously? We're actually going out like this? You know, I've done my fair share of complaining about school being a dreary, boring place, but how was I supposed to know I'd never get to go back? If I had known this would happen, I would have listened to the house warden. I guess they've all been sorry, but they haven't made a wish? So maybe they just need to wish? But I feel like Grimm has said, I wish I could go back to school, and then nothing happened. So I don't know why their wishes would work now, but not before. You know what I mean? Likewise, I just became a student, yet here I am getting turned into a puppet and dragging Vil down with me. Will we really never make it back? Edia, I'm sorry. Fellow, if it's money you're after, I'll pay as much as you want. Now we're saying this? Now we're saying it? What do you mean? Just please, let everyone go. Can't you see how sorry we are? Let us go back to school. I'm begging you. It's too late for that now. Ah, gotta watch. Shouting makes my injuries flare up. Really, now of all times, this employer couldn't take a hint to save his life. Bro, what if they just get, like, cut loose from their employer ex machina? Nah, I'll take it. If I don't, I'll get the 3rd degree later. You keep an eye on these guys. Unless Gino just gets manipulated by them in the meantime. Bro. Imagine the benefactor just, like, pulls out and he's like, well, anyway, I guess I'm not gonna do human trafficking anymore. Still hurting all over. But at least I won. I beat a whole group of students from a prestigious arcane academy. I dealt those elite jerks a solid loss, all without ever having gone to school myself. I beat them. But what was it for? Why did I turn down an offer of money, the thing I value most? Oh no! Sir, your super objective! Sir, your super objective was never money! It was pride, I think! It was control, I should say, power. Oh god, he's becoming self-aware. Hello, yes, this is fellow Foulworth speaking. Your timing is impeccable. I just captured the last of the Night Raven College students. What? But sir, I worked as quickly as I... What? The park puppets? You're invoicing us for their repairs? That wasn't the deal. Why should we have to foot that bill? Okay, that's a little much. If I may, sir, Gino and I have been doing the absolute best we could under the circumstances. You can't just... What? You glob of gutter trash! Where do you get off? Cough, cough. Gino? Oh, don't worry about me. I just got a little worked up. So I told that jerk I captured all the Night Raven College students, right? And you know what he said? He said he expected us to get it done sooner. And not only that, he's deducing the cost of the repairs to the puppets in the park from our reward. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, though. Like, that kind of makes sense. These guys are from Night Raven College. For a bunch of kids, they're still mages armed with powerful magic. Just winning against them is a huge deal. But do I get a single compliment? No, just a guy calling us useless, societal dregs, and even worse stuff. Is going to school really the be-all, end-all? Is this the life you get when you fall off the elite path? Okay, guys, I know you guys are saying this is dumb. I kind of get it, though. To be fair, they have done the planting of the phone call a couple times, right? We have seen him getting harassed, and so I feel like that it's not as dumb as I was expecting. Because you see that what Fellow really wants isn't money, it's control. He just thinks that money is going to be the way to get him the control and also praise, right? So now, if we think about a character having a super objective, if we think about control at the top of the pyramid, and maybe the mini objectives are the money and praise, right? Like, those are things that go into control, right? You control how other people just perceive you, you get their praise, you are in control when you have money, like that sort of thing. This does make sense that a lack of validation from the boss would push them to betray the boss. Now, we'll have to see how this plays out, because I expect him to go back to Calxiyn and ask for the money, though. If only I just had the chance. If only I could have gone to school. But I didn't, and look how I turned out. I've led a merry life, never letting myself get tied down by anything. So why is it? Oh god, he's just thinking about all of the things. Super objective thing is more of an actory thing than a writerly thing. You're right, Venegri, but I think that writers, whether they mean to do it or not, how do I explain this? The acting thing is for actors to make sense of what the writers have written, and so I feel like that, like, it is, I don't know. it's almost like sheet music, right? Like, music theory is something that we use to explain, I guess, like the unexplained. I feel like that's kind of the same thing. Some writers do like to use the pyramid. I love a little pyramid myself, or they call it other things, right? Like, they have, you know, their own charts and whatever. Like some writers like their little character charts and things. But basically, like, it's a way to explain why things work or don't work. Like, why a character works or don't work. Like, as opposed to, like, people are actually using that. Most people are not necessarily using that while they're writing. They're only using they may use something similar to it. Yeah. I just like it because I feel like it's very easily understandable, right? You know, where it kind of falls apart is when you're dealing with characters who are, like, mentally unstable, because then their behavior doesn't make a lot of sense anymore, right? But yeah, I had teachers that also liked it for their writing. Like, they basically, their attitude was like, yeah, we use this for acting, but everything can be, like, this can apply to everything if you really wish and believe in your heart, I guess. But, you know, other people, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but a lot of writers have, like, their guiding star, or, like, you know, that they think of, like, the happy ending versus the nightmare ending, which is something I include in my super objective chart, but isn't technically, like, part of it. So, like, I understand, like, I think that this motivation makes sense. I think it makes sense. To me. Okay, I'm not gonna read all these out. He's just thinking of the things that they were saying before. All they've done in my life is study. All they've done in my life is study? All they've done in my life is study? I don't understand. All they've done in my life is study. What? I don't understand. Oh, all they've done in life is study. All they've done. Oh my god, am I blind? Guys, I went to the eye doctor this morning. They said that my glasses are actually making my eyesight worse. Yeah. So, that's just great. I can't read. Everything's blurry. It's blurry. Why is it? I would say Vettergree. Here's my thing in my head. I think we all have super objectives, is my, like, spicy hot take. That, like, I've talked to, somebody replied under my Moana video about, like a couple things. Anyway, it's a long story. But they were basically saying, like, you know, our culture is more, like, collectivist. And I was like, I do understand that. But at the same time, as an individual, don't you have a personal desire to support the collective? And, like, you know, we kind of went back and forth on it. And we just kind of, we couldn't, like, I could see their point of view, I guess, but it was interesting that they were basically arguing that, like, in a collectivist society, you don't have individual desires, but I just don't think that's true. Like, I don't think that's true. Even if your individual desire is to uphold the collective, right? Or to maintain the community, that is still an individual desire on your part. You know? Too often we think of individual desires with selfish. So, what I told that person is that they were like, not every character, like, needs a super objective. Like, you know, like, that's not something that exists in real life. And I was like, I would argue that we all have super objectives in real life. We do. We just don't think about it. We don't think about it that much. I mean, obviously, then you also have the hierarchy of needs and all that stuff. Hi, Arnold. But yeah, so that's my thing. I don't think it's just one thing, but I think that, like, for a story, obviously, we make it simple and it's one thing. But I think most of us have, like, 3 things. Like, we have 3 super objectives as people. Okay, so all they've done in their life is study. I have a super objective. Thank you, YouTube chat. But yeah, so that's why I also don't think it's just an actor thing. Because in my head, I'm like, Well, I think that actors are using it because it's a way to make characters more realistic, and the reason why it helps to make characters more realistic is because we all have one in real life. You know, it's almost more unrealistic if you pretend like the character didn't exist before or after their story, right? To imagine somebody, a character, having a fully realized life before and after their story is done, you have to imagine that they had goals before the story started, which is ultimately what a super objective is, right? So yeah, I'm like, we all have a super objective. Okay, they're just repeating the lines. So I'm just gonna let them repeat the lines. I love when they pull out, like, the super sad, Twisted Wonderland music. Why is it? I'm bad at studying. I don't like doing it, but I know it's necessary. Like, we literally just heard these lines. Please imagine them in your head. It's centering the character for the sake of actor POV when many writers don't give a heck about realism and write in archetypes. But are those characters good though, Pedigree? Do they resonate, I guess would be my question. I seldom come across a fleshed out, like, a good character that doesn't have a super objective. The only time that I could say is, like, the only thing I could say is an exception to that is something like a fairy tale or, like, some sort of mythology, right? Where, like, the entertaining thing going on is more interesting than the actual character. But in terms of when we talk about, like, literary writing, I guess, or, like, a movie and stuff like that, like, you know, I can't imagine, like, what's a good example? Like, Spider-Man needs a super objective. You know what I mean? But, like, a mythology character, right? If it's about, like, oh, this crazy shit happened to this character last week, and it's more about the visual spectacle and that sort of stuff. You abandoned me yesterday, but I'm glad you're alive. I did not abandon you, Arnold. I had the worst stomach ache of my life, and so I never called back. I was literally on the bathroom floor. I thought I was gonna die. So, and Pedigree, here's my thing that I'd argue. 9 times out of 10, those archetypes have a super objective, even if the writer's not thinking about it. So that's the other thing. When you write in a trope or you write in an archetype, like, sometimes the super objective comes with the package, right? Like, even if you're writing in a, what's a good example? Like a Jafar or Preminger type trope, if you're going in with, I want to write a character that's this trope or this archetype instead of a super objective, it's a package deal, right? When you think about Preminger and Jafar and what their goal is, it's control, like it's power at the end of the day. So it all trickles down. It all comes back. There's already, they got one for free. It came with the archetype. Why is it that they seem so much freer and merrier than either of us? Oh no! Okay, I know that you guys are saying that this is kind of dumb. It makes sense to me. I think how the characters react to this after is probably what's gonna be dumb. I think they're gonna be a little bit too lenient. I don't think that these guys are gonna go to jail, but I think that this makes sense. To me, this makes perfect sense. Like, you know, if we have to sum up this character, you know what I mean? Like, that's ultimately what he wants. Oh, wait, what did he say? What, Gino? Excuse me, I am not jealous. It's kind of like Roman, to be honest. Like, in Roman Holiday, Roman says, I want it all, right? Like, I don't know if money can buy happiness, but I certainly want to try, right? And so, I think that it basically is the same thing, you know? If we're gonna put, like, an asterisk beside the fellow on his super objective, right? I would ultimately say he wants to belong somewhere. He wants to be happy. He has, like, Disney princess-esque motivation, but the subheading is, like, control, right? And then the sub-subheading is power, praise, all of the, like, money, right? Like, all the ways that he thinks he would get control, but control isn't what he really wants. He wants to be happy. He just thinks by controlling things he'll be able to be happy. But, you know what I mean? Like, that's, I think, the trickle down, right? So this makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. How the other characters are gonna react, I don't know. Of course I'm sure. Come on, you dunderhead, pay more attention. What? Yeah, huh? Those were the good times, all right. What? What do you mean? What good time, huh? They weren't easy times, that's for sure, but at least our lives had direction, you know? What are we talking about? What are you saying? What? Remember the time I passed you off as a puppet to try to make some money? Oh, are they saying they... See, guys, because that's the thing. They're saying they were happier when they had control of their lives, bro. It all makes sense. We nearly put one over on those greedy fools. Like, they're being oppressed by the man. You know? So I think that this makes sense. I think as a super objective, it all makes sense. Oh yes, that was masterful! Okay, I admit you were right. I've been so jealous of these students, it's been burning me up. The fountain of knowledge, huh? How nice it would have been if we had some wonderful school where we could have studied to our heart's content. Well, why don't you just make your own school, Ernesto? I don't know what qualifications you have. Like, are you allowed to make a school? Are we gonna turn Playful Land into a big school? At first, I let that envy fuel more productive efforts at making money, but at some point it turned into a personal grudge. I mean, at least you're self-aware. I let those emotions get the better of me, and look at me now, dancing to the tune. Yeah, exactly! Like, this makes sense, guys. This is not the stupid part yet. I don't think we've reached the stupid part. This makes sense, right? Dancing to the tune of one of the rich folks I hate so much. Like, he wants to be free, you know? I know this is weird, a weird aside. I watched the Pirates of the Caribbean movies the other day for a video, probably. I don't know yet exactly what I'm gonna do. But basically I was trying to do something about like that was like the last big franchise Disney had before Star Wars and Marvel, and like, basically how like Disney has just had failed next big thing after failed next big thing. Anyway, like if I were to give a super objective to Jack Sparrow, I would say it's freedom. I think he actually has a scene where he talks about that. Like that's all he wants is freedom, and then everything else he does, right, files under like either attaining freedom, right, or maintaining his freedom, right? So I kind of feel like that, like it's almost the same thing for Ernesto. But I feel like Ernesto also, like, in his core of his heart, he does need praise. It's beyond pathetic. I bring shame to the name fellow Foulworth. What? Hello? What happened? Ow! What's wrong with you, Ninny? Why are you swinging your melon at me? Oh, what's wrong with you, you Ninny, he said. Yeah, that's the other thing, Vedigree. I'm not referencing the Stanislavski one. The super objective pyramid I use is something my teacher made. So, it's like different. Like, the Stanislavski only talks about a super objective, but the rest of the pyramid, my teacher invented that pyramid. So, like, she basically was like, I like that. And then she, you know, she built the pyramid for, you know, her own acting, but also like her own other work. Her own writing and like things like that. So like the thing that I talk about in my videos is not the Stanislavski. It's not his version at all. It just uses the same idea of super objective. Which, like, that's never confused people too much. But if it does confuse people, we can just call it happily ever after, because that's kind of what it is, right? Even though a happily ever after might be more specific, there's also the general, like, for Ariel, it's like belonging, right? How does she get that belonging? She goes up on land. Like, going up on land is the happily ever after, but the happily ever after is attaining the belonging part, you know what I mean? Going on land is just the way that she does it, I guess. But I like super objective just because it implies after the story, like, you know, when the story's, not, like, even after the story's over, the character lives still. Well, color me surprised. You're the last guy I expected to hear that suggestion from. I haven't heard anything. What are we doing? I guess it's like Neo from Ruby, right? He just understands him. But like, I wish I understood. I have no clue what's going on. We're having a one-sided conversation. You know what? You're right. Where's the fun in things otherwise? I can't believe I needed a wake-up call from you of all people. Clearly, I've got a long way still to go. But yeah, Pedigree, if you're interested, I have a live stream about the rogue methodology. I have a live stream about it on the Calxiyn Cares Too Much channel, and then I have a video where I use it a bit more, like, obviously, and it's, the one about the Why Disney I Want songs suck now, which also, like, we don't get into it too much. It's mostly at the end. Like, mostly we talk about Brandon Sanderson's likability initiative, competent, like, we talk about that instead mostly in that video, but there was a live stream I did that went through the pyramid in terms of how Dahlia, like, taught it to us. So, it's the one with, I think Charlie's in the thumbnail, and it's like a yellow background, and it's like a 5-hour-long stream. But yeah, I should, you know, make sure to make that distinction more often. It is not the Stanislavski. Well, guys, thanks for everything, even if I get sent to work at the bottom of the ocean! Okay, and Kaleem goes to the North Pole and Ace goes to work in a scorching desert. I'll never lose my data of the wonderful times we shared together. Is that supposed to make us feel better? Because I only feel scared. Honestly, no way any of us are getting sent anywhere extreme like that. You really think so? Was I too worried? Yes. Fellow was clearly treating us as special, if I were to take a guess. Well, we'll get showcased all over the world as puppets with no strings or puppets with magic. We'll be treated as a spectacle, and after the years take their toll, we'll get tossed in an incinerator to keep us quiet. Oh my god, how is that any better? What do you mean? And you thought what I was saying was scary? Your scenario is way worse and contains far too much detail. Don't worry, guys, it'll be okay. How? I'll find a way to save us. Okay, how? Good question. For starters, I could invite Fellow to a party where we eat good food and talk things out with each other. Didn't we already try that? We've been through this! Oh, God. Well, let's see how this turns out. Oh, Fellow and Gino are back. Are you here to ship us off now? Here you are! Oh my god, he's just gonna turn everybody back, bro! Whoa, what was that? So bright. Well. Huh? I can move, and the bits of me that turned to wood are back to normal? We're not puppets anymore! We're human again! Why did you change us back? You wouldn't simply set us free for nothing. What's your angle? Ortho? Uh-huh. Ace? Yes? And Kaleem? What's up? After bearing witness to your bravery, honesty, and kindness, I, Fellow Foulworth, am deeply moved! That's not why, but okay. This is just more bullshit, but okay. As such, please allow us to join your wonderful group. Huh? Bro, you are not, like, just getting an invitation. What? Really? Wow, you finally understand that we just want to be friends. That's good. No, it isn't. He's just turning around and deciding to join us? There's clearly a catch. You already spent ample time mocking us. What's your plan now? This is beyond suspicious. Why would I stand here and let you hoodwink us again when I can just fry you with my oh my god, when I can murder you right now! Murder him! Whoa, slow down. I can understand your resentment considering how handily you lost us, but hear me out. I'm done being the Playful Land manager. In fact, I'm ready to wash my hands of this entire park. Doesn't that mean that somebody else will just start human trafficking, Ernesto? Okay. Oh yeah, good on you. I brought this change of heart. Long story short, I got tired of taking the boss's gruff. Get a load of this. Gino said we should just ditch that loser already. Huh, he's one bad boy, isn't he? Uh-huh. What comes next now that you're done with this place? Will you start a career with those acting skills of yours? Next? next? Good question. What is it I want to do now? Well, it's pretty clear what I have to do. You don't have to explain yourself. After how much you fooled us already, why would we start believing you now? True. This is our chance. I say it's royal beatdown time. Whoa, hey, come on, guys, don't do that. I had a feeling you wouldn't listen, but I can hardly blame you for your skepticism. If you refuse to believe my words, then have a look over there. Whee! Still feeling all heavy. My legs are stiff as boards. Cal, Grim. And behind them. I feel like my shoulders and back are never going to stop cracking. What an ordeal. Ugh, I couldn't avenge my honor on my own, and I have to crawl back like this. Pathetic. Oh, how wonderful it is to be able to speak freely again. I could talk forever. Boy, is it great to be back to normal. I was seriously afraid we were gonna be stuck like that forever. Let's not do this again. Being stuck in the same position for so long has been terrible for my blood flow. I'll need a massage to head off any swelling. Going to an epic theme park and getting turned into a puppet was a disaster, but OTOH, it was pretty rare as far as experiences go. What does that mean? OTOH? I don't know. I've never seen that before in my life. Depending on how you look at it, a life where you never have to worry about moving yourself could have actually been pretty chill. Oh, Leona. Man, talk about boring. Not being able to cut loose was seriously eating me up. Everyone's back to normal. What about all those other people that Ernesto human trafficked, though? Bruh. Guys, I don't think this is that bad in terms of his motivation. I just need to know, like, what do we do with the park? Are we gonna sink it at the bottom of the ocean? Because I feel like the idea that it would still continue on is not okay. You know? Guys, I missed you so much. I'm glad you're okay. Thanks for coming to our rescue. It took you long enough to rescue us. I couldn't move, I couldn't talk. I was just a rigid wooden puppet. I seriously thought it was over for me. Must have been scary for you two. Don't worry, you're okay now. See, if I wasn't actually going to quit being Playful Land's manager, it would make no sense for me to release all these dangerous individuals, you three included. Dangerous individuals? Really? Ernesto came to our cage a short while ago and released us from the spell. I inquired as to his reason for freeing us, and his answer was rather surprising. Yeah? Yes, that's precisely what I was getting to. How could any compassionate person condone this heinous, atrocious, horrific park? Wouldn't you agree, Gino? What do you mean? You've been human trafficking people this whole time! So that's the guy who was helping to run that heinous, atrocious, horrific park until a scant few seconds ago, to prevent any more tragic puppet transformations, and to punish the greedy evildoers who threaten world peace, not to mention express my immense gratitude to my former employers. I'm going to tear this whole park down and ensure it never again opens its doors. You're gonna what? Are you sure that's advisable? Positive! I just dispelled the park's magic! If you still don't believe me, Gino and I are happy to put on a demonstration! Help me scrap the park and I'll change the ship's heading to Sage's Island. Let's be real, Playful Land's a big place. We're not going to tear it up with just the two of us. So what do you say? Are you in? This is interesting, but like, I do wonder if we're not addressing the issues. Because like, won't the rich people just make another park? But then again, maybe that's just life. You know, like, yeah, you stop one human trafficking ring, but then 10 more pop up in its place. Like, you're never going to stop criminals from doing crime, you know what I mean? They can only stop this Playful Land, I guess. Don't look to us for guidance. Can't you think for yourselves? You guys did most of the work today, so you can make the call. No promises I'll play along, though. I trust your judgment. That was weird. I just tasted like a, I don't know, peppercorn or something. Anyway. Well, I'm waiting. Just to be clear, I don't trust you at all. We'll work with you, but only until the moment we reach land. Good call. Mutual cooperation seems to be the most sensible solution if we want to get back to Sage's Island. I guess we've got a truce. Great! I've wanted to be friends with you and Gino this whole time. I'm glad you extended the offer. We're buddies now and we're all in this together. Yes, that's great. Could you please stop slapping me on the back now? Anyway, I appreciate this. We couldn't ask for better backup than you scholars. Now then, hard to starboard. I've got one last job to do as manager. The rich do whatever they want. Yeah, that's true. Like, you know, the characters need to deal with what's happening here. We're never going to stop, like, I don't know, like worldwide problems, I guess. Is everyone ready? Time to raise the curtains on Playful Land's final show. It's showtime. Whee! Yay! Tear up the park. You guys go for it. Ortho with his laser could really do a number on the place too. Whee! I like this. I understand why you guys are like, where's Cat? What did Cat have a problem with? How, like their change of heart? Or like, is there something still at the end of the book that you guys thought was a dumb way to get there? You know? Take this! Ultra Grim Attack! Nicely executed, Grim! Stupid Playful Land trying to turn me into some dumb puppet. I ain't done breaking you by a long shot. This wall's gotta go too! Hey, I see some light in the distance over the water. Is that what? What? Where are you looking? I'll swap to telescope mode and check. I see the town. It's Sage's Island. It's happening. Cal, we're getting back to Night Raven. Yeah, this is great news. Oh. That explosion, was that the pool hall? It's not just that, there are explosions going off. What about all the people? Didn't people get shipped off already though? What happened to those people? Like, didn't people, like the puppets, when they gave that guy his wallet back? Or are all those people changed back? They're just in cages somewhere. It's not just that, there are explosions going off at the Brawling Bungalow, the Ferris wheel, and all sorts of places. Whoa, sweet. The floor's cracking. It certainly is. Is the ship sinking? Isn't that bad? Oh, crud. It can't sink now. We're still way far from land. Oh dear, we might have gone a wee bit overboard on the demolition. How are you so chill about this? Wait, does this ship have lifeboats and stuff? Oh, that makes sense. This is a huge ship meant to carry a lot of people. They'd have to be equipped for the worst case scenario, right? Please, do you actually think Playful Land has any safety measures in place for its guests? Not when you put it that way. Then why aren't you more concerned? We're gonna take on so much water our shoes are getting soaked. Why? Because I have all of you here. You're smart little scholars, right? Put those educated noggins to use and whip out a solution real quick, why don't you? I just hoped there would be more ways to hurt the head honcho or the boss's boss. Yeah, like, that's how I feel too. Like, it's too bad that they didn't bring in Stromboli, but maybe they're gonna do this event again, right? Like, maybe this isn't the last we're gonna see of Playful Land, and maybe Ernesto's gonna come back and be on our side this time. Like, maybe they're gonna do it again, you know? Talk about passing the buck. Passing the buck, yeah. I can't think of a single spell that can move this giant ship. What about Calxiyn's magic? Oh, I know, we can all swim for it. Ooh, I second that motion. I veto it. We're too far out from shore for anyone but Floyd and Jade to make it safely. Did the power of friendship defeat fellow already? Maybe? Come on, guys, no need to panic. I've got this. Don't worry, just wait here. We're 2 chapters away from the end. So, Kat, I was accosting you. I was like, Kat, what did you have to say that, like, sorry, what did you think was so bad about this? This isn't the most bullshit that I was expecting. Like, this isn't the most bullshitty bullshit. It totally makes sense when you have the reoccurring motif with his boss calling to neg him, right? Wait, Ortho, you can't just fly off like that. Where are you going? Did Ortho really just escape on his own? The cowardice. Nonsense, he's not you, you know. Looks like Ortho dove into the water? Is he gonna push the ship from under the water? Okay, wind direction's fine. Heading set. Engine rev to high speed flutter kick mode engage. Oh, okay, we're just swimming. Full speed ahead. Whee! Sure, okay. Whee! This makes sense. This makes sense in my mind. Whoa! The ship's... What happened? Ah! The ship's speed just ramped way up. What in the world? It's never gone this fast before. We're getting closer to land by the second. Ortho must be doing this. Now we'll definitely reach Sage's Island before we sink. We're saved! Whee! We actually made it to Sage's Island! Ortho, you propelled the ship. Right? Thanks for that. You're a lifesaver. Serious. Make sure to dry off before you catch a cold, I guess is what I'm picking. Silly Cal, you know I'm incapable of catching colds, but I appreciate your concern. We're lucky the ship held together long enough to reach land. It's belching smoke from a dozen places, and it's half sunken at this point. Oh boy, now that I'm looking at it from the shore, we really did a number on it. I was kind of iffy about tearing it down at first, but it turned out to be really fun. I got super into it by the end. Wait. Don't tell me. Fellow Foulworth, you didn't use your signature spell on us, did you? Who can say, really? What do you think? Listen to that smarm. It's only gonna get worse from here, you know. Huh? What do you mean? Grown-ups can't excuse this kind of thing by going... grown-ups can't excuse this kind of thing by going, I felt like quitting, so I literally burned my bridges. Why not? He can just disappear, right? Come to think of it, pretty sure no one can, grown-up or not. If someone tore my turf, I'd sure tear into them, guaranteed. Indeed, and I seem to recall a braggadocious speech about how powerful the Playful Land proprietor is. You're going to be a wanted man, fellow. Wait, is he? Is he gonna be okay? Please, the great fellow Foulworth wouldn't have overlooked something so basic. We've made it through our fair share of hazards so far. We wouldn't be stupid enough to get ourselves caught. You say that, but I'm still worried about you. I know, what if you came to Night Raven College? You'd have food and a place to sleep and plenty of friendly company. And you know what? You've got that amazing signature spell. If the head mage found out about it, who knows? He could be all like, you positively must enroll in our school. My, an invitation to Night Raven College. That sounds nice. Life would be a lot more peaceful if I could go to a prestigious school, and it'd give me quite a reputation boost. You gave him a new name? No, I'm using his JP name, Vedigree, because I think the English translation is bad. I don't want to go to the same school as this guy, but I must respectfully decline. I mean, let's be real, the rest of the student body's gotta be a bunch of bad eggs like you guys, right? It'd be unbearable to have to suffer that many fools day in and day out. I wouldn't go there even if you begged me. Somehow turning down the offer is even more rage-inducing. I've got no interest in attending some stuffy, stuck-up school. Instead... I think I'm going to build a better school. The kind I'd want to go to. Okay! Sure! I mean, yeah! What? Huh? You want to build a school? Okay. That's right. One that welcomes minor mages like me and non-mages like Gino. See, guys, this is how we can get the sidekick school. This is how the sidekick school wins. A magnificent educational institution that teaches students things with practical, real-world value. That's a wonderful goal. I think that's nice. Isn't it, though? You'd be welcome to transfer there once it's established. You've got the stubbornness and brazenness to make it there. In fact, I'll even let you skip the entrance exam. How interesting. I like that idea. But I trust you're aware it won't be an easy goal to accomplish. Oh, absolutely. Right now, I've got nowhere to go and nary a scorsant? Shouldn't they say Thamark? Oh, how the great fellow Foulworth has fallen. There's bound to be hardships ahead, and I strongly doubt anyone will hop on board with my ridiculous dream. What if Calxiyn pays for this? That'd be really funny. What will you do now, Gino? Will you stick with me anyway? Aw, they're cute, guys. Look at this, like Rowan and Neo. Oh. Okay. Scorcery scent, score scent. Oh, okay. Is that like the bigger version of Thamark? I don't remember ever them saying that. Talk about overjoyed at nothing. You really are the ninniest of ninnies. Oh, but look, they're kind of cute. Look at them, they're so cute. Hey, so, you know you don't just get to call things good with us, right? I, for one, am not about to let either of you off the hook. Yeah, me neither. You've got to pay for what you've done. Hard agree. Hard agree. I ain't about to forgive and forget all the fun you had at my expense. You'd better come quietly. Whoa, careful there. I wouldn't want to overstay our welcome. We'd best see ourselves out. Whee! Hey, get back here. Don't you run away. Wait, are you actually going to take off on the Playful Land ship? It's barely seaworthy. Sure am. After all the work I've put into it, I'm gonna sail this thing into the seafloor. How are you gonna get out of the seafloor, though, bestie? Leaving so soon? Hey, fellow, when you do get your school bill, let me know, okay? Will you come visit? No, I'll make a big donation. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I know that's right. You're an insufferable twerp to the very last. Good guys are the worst. No thanks, Calxiyn, I'm not that desperate. Aren't you a little bit take his money? We'll manage, we always have. Exactly, Gino. As long as I'm around, there's nothing to be afraid of. After all, I'm the star of the dropout world. The guy whose wits were a match for even the smarty pants Night Raven college students. Shut up, you scam artist. God. Well, time for us to go. Who knows, maybe if we're lucky, we'll see each other again on that shining stage called life. Guys. So, okay, but how do they sail this away? Goodbye, but like also like where, when you're in the seafloor, like do you have a lifeboat? What's your backup plan for when you reach the bottom of the seafloor, bestie? Okay, goodbye. The end. Okay. So, okay. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Okay, I think... I'm sorry, Cat. Because I know you're one of the ones that, like, was railing on them the most. I think you guys were wrong. I I think you guys were wrong. I was imagining a much more contrived... Oops. Hold on. Get me out of here. I should have turned notes off. Hold on. Listen. Okay? I understand. However, I think this makes a lot more sense compared to Rolo. Oh my god, we're singing? Huh? What is happening? Why is the screen black? Hello? Uh-oh. Guys, I think it's my game. Hold on a second. That was weird. Hello? Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, first of all, I didn't realize that they would be singing, so maybe that's not the best thing to play in the background. As I, like, maybe that's not the best thing to do after all. Because I didn't realize that they were gonna sing. So maybe we can just... Like, do I have a Playful Land background in here that I can change it to? That has music? Oh god, how long ago was this? Okay, can I sort by newest, I guess? Okay, that's... Okay, Nightmare Before Christmas is over there. Okay, let's change it to this for now then. Okay. Okay, here's my thing. Sorry, Cat. We're about to fight on the street. Okay, listen. When you guys were like, Cal, the way that they resolved this is so stupid, I think that was not as stupid as what I imagined. I'm gonna take this out so I can hear myself, by the way, just so I don't need to... Are you talking? No, Azul. Azul is not talking. Anyway, when you guys were like, Cal, it's so dumb, this is not as dumb as I thought. This, to me, actually, I feel like was perfectly reasonable, right? Because they didn't say that Ernesto had a change of heart. I think he kind of pretended to. Like, he wasn't like, man, I feel so bad that I trafficked these children. Like, he didn't have a crisis of conscience or anything. Like, his thing... Right, control, praise, power, right, all of that sort of stuff. Let's just say control as super objective. Control, right? And that he thinks, like, to have a happy life, right, is what we all want, but also the way that we think we get those things, control, belonging, whatever. Anyway, right? So if you think about it like a happy ending, everyone wants to be happy. That's the common sense part. You know what I mean? So, the, if we think about his super objective, be in control, if we think about my pyramid, of which I wish I knew where it is, or I would pull it up. Maybe I can find it. Maybe we can find the Calxiyn super objective pyramid. Why not? This stream is gonna be relatively short anyway, so I can afford to go looking for it. Okay, I have empty pyramids. Where are my full pyramids? Where are my finished pyramids? Hello? Oh! Okay, so this is again not Stanislavski. This is Dahlia. This is the Dahlia pyramid. Let's... Well, we'll cut off Azul a little bit. Okay. That's fine. So, like, okay. If I'm thinking about this, I don't think it's that dumb. I don't think it's that dumb at all, actually. Like, I think... And not to say that you guys are wrong and like you need to pay for your crimes of being wrong. Like if you guys, in your opinion, it was kind of stupid, like that's okay. But what I'm trying to say is that when you guys said, Cal, this is so stupid, I was imagining a more stupid thing that actually went on. He's basically a Roman type. Yes, Vet agree. But I would say what Roman also wants is control, because Roman's life spiraled out of control ever since his mother abandoned him, right? So when we talk about the whole grand scheme of things, like Roman says this too in Roman Holiday. He's like, I wanted everything, like I want everything, right? I don't know if money can buy happiness, but I'll certainly give it a shot, right? Like he basically has a line like that. So it's not like money, getting money is not a super objective. Getting money is a goal. A criminal finishing a job is also not a super objective. That's just a goal, right? But you complete the goal because of what the goal gives you. For most people, money gives us stability and it gives us a certain amount of control over our lives, right? So, sorry, my hair's literally falling out. Anyway, so when I say, oh, the super objective is control, right? I mean, greed is the sin. That's, you know, something different. So, you know, that's how we interpret someone's behavior as greedy. But I don't think Roman is necessarily driven by greed. At least the Roman that we get in Roman Holiday, it's a lot more obvious what he's actually after, which is that he wants to basically bow to no one, which is why Cinder's involvement in Roman's story sucks so bad. Because if Roman was greedy, he wouldn't, like, really care, right? He would just be in it because Cinder's giving him money and this, that, and the other and whatever. But Roman doesn't actually want to work with Cinder, right? Cinder is more powerful than him and he hates that, right? He literally says to Ruby, oh, you can't beat him, so you join him, right? And so it was basically like they gave up the control, in a sense, so they wouldn't have to face how incapable they are. That's how I interpret Roman and Neo anyway, right? Like, they basically gave it up, I guess. Like, they gave it up so they wouldn't have to face a lack of control. Like, basically by not pretending, but by going along with Cinder's plan, they can pretend like they have some agency and some say in the matter, when the reality is that just like Adam, Cinder would have literally killed them. Like, Cinder would have killed them. So it's kind of like they're pretending like they had any choice. They're like, oh yeah, we totally chose to do, they had no choice, right? And Roman Holiday focuses a lot on the idea of, like, Roman does not want to be under the thumb of Little Miss or pretty much anybody else. Like, he doesn't want to answer to anybody else, you know? Anyway. I did watch Full Metal Alchemist, but it was a long time ago. Anyway, back to Ernesto, right? So, I think it makes perfect sense for him to change his mind, because they established these things very early. He hates rich people, right? He's in it for the money. At least he keeps telling himself that, right? He's in it for the cold hard cash, you know? And so it feels like that he is, basically, like, taking the power away from that. And then there's also the element of praise, right? Like, he wants to be perceived as stronger than the Night Raven college students, right? So, during most of the story, working under the boss does give him what he wants, because he gets all of those things. Like, in terms of littler goals, he gets the money, he gets the praise, he gets, like, the validation and, like, the superiority, and he gets control over the Night Raven college students. As soon as the boss starts to belittle him, that pretense, if you want to call it, that false pretense, or that idea that, like, Ernesto has any sort of control over the situation pretty much falls apart, because he's always going to be answering to someone who's richer and more powerful and who has more magic, the proprietor of the park. You could say survival is Roman's motive. I mean, but we all want to survive, though. So, like, that's why we don't use, like, at least for this, Dahlia. I feel like Dahlia would say, like, human beings just want to survive. What I would say for Roman, how I've always put his super objective down, is stability, right? Because when he was a kid, right, he didn't have that stability. That's how I've always wrote it. but I think control works for Roman, but I think it works better for Ernesto. Yeah, like, he was upset because the boss didn't compliment him, right? He just wanted, like, he wanted the compliments, he wanted the praise, and then he didn't get the praise. Which reminds me of how in Roman Holiday, Fox is like, straight up says, Coco, you need praise. Right, that Coco needs praise for her work or whatever. Anyway, so I don't think it's actually that stupid that Ernesto changed his mind. Now, is the ending stupid? I mean, that's what I'm gonna, like, throw back to you guys. Why do you guys think, like, were people mad about this? Like, really mad? Because here's my thing. They have no other way to get off the island. So they have to cooperate with Ernesto. They really have no choice. They do keep reiterating that they don't really trust him or care why he had his change of heart, right? They have no way to get back. To be fair, at the end, they don't just let him go. They do try to apprehend him. They just fail, and Ernesto runs away. So I feel like that it's not the same as like, oh, but we're just letting him get away with it, right? They seem to have a full intention of, I guess, arresting him or performing some sort of citizen's arrest, and then he just got away from them, right? If the Night Raven college student said, you know what, you got a tragic backstory, so it's okay, that would be different, right? I feel like that'd be a little different, but they seemed to have the intention to apprehend him. They just did it badly. They didn't. Like, they couldn't. You know? I don't know how Ernesto's getting off the ship, by the way. If the ship's going into the ocean, I'm sure there's a lifeboat. People were mad at how optimistic Calxiyn was. Well, isn't Calxiyn just kind of like that? They weren't that mad, but almost everyone was annoyed at Calxiyn and the fact that the power of friendship did kind of save the day. Well, was it the power of friendship that saved the day, though? Or was it just the realities of greed like made things fall apart? Here's my argument, I guess. Even if the Night Raven college students weren't here, this would have happened eventually. Like, Ernesto would have gotten fed up, I think. As much as I do think that everyone's like, man, we love school, like, as much as I think that got into his head, or whatever, I think it wasn't really like, oh man, I wish I had friends. Like, I don't think Ernesto was like, man, I wish I had friends and I'm lonely. I don't think Ernesto really cares about being lonely. I think what made him mad was the fact that they were so happy, whereas he was so miserable. So I don't think it was like, man, like, you know, to have what they have, what a thing, right? Like, I don't think he actually wanted what they had exactly, like, in the end of it. Like, obviously he's establishing the school and whatever, but that's more of a goal that goes towards the idea of him taking power back from the rich people, right? So, it's not like he's having an Ariel, like, moment of, you know, wanting to belong somewhere. He would have snapped eventually. They just put him under the condition to snap, so I don't even know if this is a power of friendship thing, as much as, like, what made him snap was the fact that they could be so happy. And, like, have all these, like, yeah, like, you know, we did skip school, but at the same time, this is what school means to us, right? Like, that I think that that's what it was. And it's like, how dare you be happier than me? Because Ernesto thinks that he has reached, I guess, the pinnacle of freedom, in my mind, right? He has this park, right? He doesn't need to go to school. He can manipulate mages like the Night Raven college kids, you know? And he can get away with it too. Like, in his mind, at least before this event, I think he thought he was truly free, but then he saw that somehow everybody at Night Raven has this true freedom and merriment and happiness in their heart, despite actually going to school. So I think that just pissed him off, right? Our survival isn't in constant danger. You're right, Vetagri. But I feel like the problem is that when you get vague like that, like, you have to apply that to every single RWBY character then, because, like, some of them are orphans, and there's Grimm, and there's right? Are you gonna keep streaming? I'm probably about to wrap up in, like, 10 minutes, so this is probably where we will, part ways, but, I appreciate you being here, Cloud. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys had fun. But yeah, I'm just giving my final thoughts. So, I'm not that mad. I'm not that mad about it. I do wish that they kind of confronted the boss. I would have liked to see a character that was based off of Stromboli, right? Like, I think that would have been interesting if the big boss did intervene at the end, and maybe that's when Ernesto realized that he fucked up, like when the physical presence of the boss is almost, I don't want to say too much to bear, that's not the right word, but like, through seeing the boss in person and how the boss belittles him, he realized that he had to get away. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure Stromboli smacks Pinocchio. You could have had the boss, like, hit Ernesto, and then that would have made him even more sympathetic, if that's what you want to do. Like, make him more sympathetic. Right? But I think that this was better than Hunchback, because Rollo almost did magic genocide, and yeah, did they kind of pull it off in the end to make him sympathetic? I guess, like, at the end of the day, he's a child, so I think that that's what Rollo has over Fellow, is that Fellow's an adult, whereas Rollo is a child, but, like, Rollo, if we're going to say that somebody got it off, like, somebody got off too easy, like, you know what I mean? If we're gonna say that anybody got it off too easy, I think Rollo got it off too easy. Like, I get that Ernesto was doing human trafficking and whatever, but, like, at least he admits that he was just doing it for the money. Like, there's no, you know, he doesn't have an actual change of heart. He just realizes that he's tired of being under the boot, right? So I feel like that Ernesto's change makes sense, whereas Rollo, I mean, I would say that Rollo got away with too much, and it was, like, when I think of power and friendship, I'm thinking of the Hunchback event, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to talk to me about power of friendship, I'm thinking of Hunchback, and, like, how they, because it makes sense. Like, Rollo stuff still all makes sense, but at the same time, it is a little, like, I feel like it is slightly more frustrating. I don't know, it's been a long time since I played it, so maybe I'm just not remembering it as freshly as this, but this makes a lot more sense, because at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with friendship or My Little Pony or whatever. This is just a poor, exploited adult. You know, he's still an adult, he still should be held accountable, but this is a poor, exploited person who realizes that, like, the Night Raven college kids are not the oppressors that, you know, they need to fight against, basically. And then he goes on to continue his own super objective out there somewhere else or whatever, right? So I think it's fine. I think it's okay. It's not as stupid as I thought. When you guys were saying that it was, like, dumb, I thought they were gonna have, like, and deep down, I always wanted to go to school. And I just want to go to Night Raven College. Like, I thought it was gonna be, like, a lot dumber than this. Or, like, the boss promised me I'd get into school one day. Like, I thought that they were gonna really turn on, I guess, the waterworks, right? And really ham it up. I don't know. But they didn't, like, you know, they could have really had it be like, I was an orphan when the boss found me and I had no other choice, and, like, they could have really went for it, but they still kind of maintained his level of, I don't know, maliciousness. Like, they still kept up his antagonisticness, so I think that that was actually pretty good. The event as a whole, I thought it was really well paced. I do think it was interesting how, like, they seemed, here's my one problem, my one beef is that they focus on the conflict between optimism and pessimism as opposed to, like, the actual things that Pinocchio is about, right? Because, like, that's not really the problem, like, in Pinocchio. Like, it's not really an optimism or pessimism thing. It's, like, doing good versus, and they did have that, obviously. They had, oh, you guys are bad because you skipped school. But I mean in the conflict with Ortho and Calxiyn and Ace, I think that my idea was better. Shocker, by the way. Shocker, Calxiyn thinks that her idea is better. Which is something else, you know, funny I was thinking about lately. Like, in the context of the Moana video, which for the record was received very positively. Like when I bring up these things, they're very like minor, like, oh, 1 or 2 comments said this, but I always think it's funny how people are like, Cal always acts like she's, like her ideas are better and that she's right. And I'm like, well, yes. Because I wouldn't be making a whole 3-hour YouTube video and spend 100 hours of my life on this if I didn't think I had a point, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's funny. Obviously, there's no objectively right. I can only, you know, suggest what I think are stronger or weaker choices and make the argument as to why. But I always think that's funny when people get hung up on, like, not just me, but any YouTuber, on, like, being, oh, they present themselves as if they're objectively right. Like, I watched a video a while ago, like years and years ago, and it was called Subjectivity is Implied. And I'm pretty sure it is to my understanding that the YouTuber in question got flamed for this, but he was right. He got his ass beat, but he was right. And I'll say he was right. I think it was Joseph Anderson, maybe. Or maybe I just made that up. It was like a gaming YouTuber, right? It was in the context of gaming reviews. Like that you shouldn't have to, at least this is how I remember it. Don't come for me if this is wrong. But how I remember it is that he basically said we shouldn't have to say I think, in my opinion, every single time we have a sentence in our YouTube videos because that's fucking annoying. And these, like, subjectivity is implied, right? And he got flamed for that. But he was right, in my opinion. Ironically. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, shocker that I would say that I think my ideas are better, but I think it would have been better if they focused on Calxiyn, you're useless because you paid your way, you bought your way into school, and had that be the conflict between them instead, and have Calxiyn reflect on that a little bit, right? And then you could have had Calxiyn appreciating, you know, like you could have had him say, yeah, I suck at studying, I'm really bad, right? Maybe I did take the spot away from someone more deserving, but that's why I'm gonna continue to work hard, right? I feel like that they should have gone more that angle because it feels so obvious, and like that's the real conflict here, is is Ace and Ortho thinking Calxiyn is useless. And the reason why Calxiyn is so useless is because he bought his way into school, which is the exact thing that, like, Ernesto has beef with. That's the only thing I'd really change about this. I thought it was, like, an 8 out of 10 event, you know? Yeah, exactly, Vetigree. Like, I'm glad they didn't do, like, sort of the thick sob story, like, you know, he's kind of accepted, like, this is who I am now, and I can only move ahead going forward. Like, I can't rewrite my entire personality. I just need to, pivot with what I have, or what I've learned, basically, you know? Instead of, like, you know, I was an orphan, and I've always wanted to go to school, and, like, Oliver twisting it up. Like, I feel like this was one of, honestly, the more nuanced, like, you guys, the way that you guys were talking, I was expecting him to get redeemed. That didn't happen at all. I'm actually very pleasantly surprised. This event would have finished faster if we got Ruggy and Jamil, you're so right, but that's why they're not here. But yeah, I think that that's the only thing I would have changed, is to have the conflict with Calxiyn be Calxiyn, you bought your way into Night Raven, and that's why you're fucking useless. And then Ace be like, sorry, that wasn't very nice, right? Like, have that sort of be the thing. Otherwise, I thought it was well-paced. We didn't do too much bullshit that I can remember. Like, do you guys remember those other days where I was like, guys, I'm worried we're about to do bullshit, like how Lilo and Stitch had fetch quest bullshit? You know, like, it was very well-paced. I like Vil and Leona, like their divorced couple energy. That, you know, that was really funny. But yeah, I don't know where I'd rank it. Let me see. Like, okay. Here's my thing. Fairy Gala just has a special place in my heart for being Tinkerbell inspired. Beans Day, I thought, was one of the most hilarious books they ever wrote. Wish Upon a Star, I really liked. because, you know, the wishing, and we kind of got everyone's little, like, nuggets of their dreams, and Phantom Bride was fucking hilarious. So that's how I kind of measure things, I guess, right? Like, those are the first three, those are, like, basically the first 4 events, and they all have something I really, really like about them. Whereas Halloween, I'm gonna be so fucking for real, I don't remember either of what happened in the first 2 Twisted Halloweens. Right? Maybe it's just been a while. Maybe they were really funny. I don't know. Right? Maybe it's not fair for me to discount them just because it was a long time ago and I don't remember them anymore, but I dead ass don't remember. Harveston was a hometown event, so that one was good. Right? Portfest was fine. So, like, where would I rank this? I don't know. I'm not very good at things like that. Like, I'm not very good at sort of quantifying, like, where would I put this compared to the other ones. I love Hunchback of Notre Dame a lot, and so I'm always going to be biased. Like, I'm always going to be biased to that event, I guess. So, but, like, I felt like that this one felt like less of a slog than Hunchback. Like, sometimes Hunchback felt like a slog. And I would say for the other 2 Halloween events, most of it was a slog, like the first 2 Halloween ones. So yeah, I don't know. I really like this one. I really like Ernesto. I think that's the other thing too. He's a very well-written character compared to what Twisted Wonderland does sometimes, which is like, magic killed my grandma. I mean, that's literally what Rolo is actually magic killed my grandma. Right? So, I don't know. It's hard for me to rank them, but I think this will definitely be one I remember, as I had fun voice acting it. Like, I had fun being Ernesto. I thought Ernesto was very well written. I really like the character archetype of Ernesto, so I had a really good time. Yeah. There were some funny moments, though, in Hunchback. Like, when Ruggy and Jamil worked together, that was, like, that's, like, peak for me. When they work together and, like, control the bodies and minds of those 2 students and use them as meat shields, like, that was great. That was great. I'll never forget that. But I think Playful Land is definitely up there. Like, I'd put Playful Land, if I was doing a tier list, I would put Playful Land comfortably beside Fairy Gala, but I don't think it's overtaken Fairy Gala for me. Fairy Gala, I guess it's just peak, man. Anything that's based off of a princess, as opposed to, like, you know, fucking Pinocchio, is probably gonna have a bit of bias for me. And Beans Day was just fucking funny because it was like Hunger Games. Like, it was like Twisted Wonderland Hunger Games, and I don't know if we'll ever get there again. So yeah, I think definitely better than the first 2 Halloween events. I don't know if I'd put it above Glorious Masquerade, just because, I don't know. Here's what I'll say. I think Rolo, I like that for Rolo, they incorporated the brother from the book and the Broadway musical. I think that was a very smart thing to do. But I like the environment of Glorious Masquerade more and the conflict more, but I like the villain of Playful Land more, and I think the idea of the human trafficking puppet ring is just so, like, I feel like that all of the ideas and the execution in Playful Land is just, like, on a different level, even though I love Hunchback a lot. And this is why I don't rank things, because we'd be here all day, and I can't pick favorites. I literally can't. So, okay. Somebody asked what we're doing next. That's a great question. Why don't I pull up the schedule? You're gonna have some conflicted feelings about Ville's red carpet cadets. I can't wait. Why? What do you mean by this? Because, like, in villainy? Or do you mean, like, because there's, like, fetch, I call them fetch quests, but you guys know what I mean, right? Like, when they go around collecting the sticks and whatever. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right, so tomorrow, which I'm kind of surprised. I thought I was doing something else tomorrow. I guess I'm not. For some reason, I don't know what I thought I was doing. I guess I thought I had a day off tomorrow and I was gonna do variety, but I guess I'm not. Okay, tomorrow is Ville's Red Carpet Cadets. At some time. We're going to do it all in one stream, I'm pretty sure. Probably. It's only 35 chapters. I think we can do it. Sunday is Radiant Reenactment. Much to everyone's tears, I guess. How are we feeling about this? Sad? I don't know. Monday might be the day I take a day off and do some variety and movie reaction stuff. I don't know. But if I don't do that, that'll mean that on Monday, we start Twisted Thrills and Classic Chills Part 1. And then I'm assuming it'll be much like this stream, where we do 3 streams. Then Tuesday will be Classic Thrills Part 2. Wednesday, I have movie reaction, question mark, question mark, question mark. But like I said, that may move to Monday, so I don't know. Then Friday, Trials of Romance. 1 stream, I think. Then, on, what was that? Again, Friday. Right, okay, Thursday, Classic Thrills Part 3. Friday, Trials of Romance. And then Saturday will be Popcorn Panic, which looks like such a nothing burger. What are we even doing? I don't know. And that means that in a single week, we will be caught up with Twisted Wonderland, which is kind of honestly a little scary. But again, in case anybody missed it, I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. The only reason why we are doing things that way is because I cannot stream Genshin until Hunter gets back so we can record the rest of Genshin Guessing. So we are basically instead full speed ahead Twisted Wonderland and maybe some variety stuff. I'm pretty sure Arnold has seen Anastasia. I think we watched it at my house one year while decorating Christmas stuff. But I don't think he's seen the Broadway musical, and he probably hasn't remembered. He probably forgot. But yeah, Igor, are you still here? What do you mean that I'm gonna have complicated feelings about Ville's Carpet Cadets? Why? Question mark, why? I mean, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, so this is Calxiyn's Twisted Wonderland week, basically, is what we're doing. Now, here's the thing. D23 is on Friday. So D23, I should say, starts on Friday. So, I don't know. I hope nothing will happen while I'm streaming, but at least I'll be ready in case something happens after I'm streaming is kind of my mindset. How about we start today with the next one? You mean with the red carpet? Honestly, I'm gonna be so for real with you, Yona. I would, but like, I'm a little, I don't know. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream. I'm kind of like out of sorts today. So I think it'd be better just to do it all in one shot tomorrow, to be honest. But I'll be back tomorrow. But yeah, I think now I'm gonna go start to do my Calxiyn Gears Too Much stuff. Like I'm gonna, or maybe I'll edit some of my reactions, I don't know. But like I mentioned, I have a book review, I guess, that I wanna do. Like I wanna do a review of Rootbound for the Calxiyn Gears Too Much channel. So I thought about doing that today. So I think I will go do that. And even though this was a short stream, I kind of thought that this would happen. I kind of thought that this might happen because, obviously, I knew that it was only 2 hours worth of content, like what we had left over, but, yeah, most of the streams are just gonna be one big, massive stream, other than, obviously, when we do Halloween, we'll do it 3 streams, kind of like we did this time. Thank you for the stream. Well, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. Like I said, Twisted Wonderland week. But yeah, don't worry, you know, if you guys can't catch the VODs, I know it's gonna be kind of overwhelming. Like I said, this is like my gift to you before I go for my job. So like, you know, even if you can't watch them now, you know, you can just watch the VODs when I'm not streaming Twisted Wonderland every single day. Like in the drought, basically. Save them for the drought if you can't catch them live, you know? But I think with that, I'm gonna go have some lunch. I mean, I did have my kielbasa, but I'm gonna go have some proper lunch. And, yeah, probably do that and then maybe go on Lodestar later like I promised. But I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, Twitch chat. Goodbye.